At some point, we have to stop being reactive and we have to start being proactive. And people are going to do what you let them do. The county board is still pushing forward with this baby jail project, I call it. We're a fraction of the population. So how's 44% of us sitting in the county for a year, 2 years at a time?
You know, if they say things are getting better, then they're not dealing with it. They're not in it. Police are killing folks. There's some bad blood going on in a big way. The relationship between our neighborhoods and the police department is not getting any better.
If you are connected to your community and you look at these numbers, you should have a problem with that.
You're worried about ISIS. The police are my ISIS.
They wage a war.
Living under pressure in the city because I'm black. Can't even.
First got Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Shout out Augie Kid.
In a bed. You know these wanna whine like the time is up. You alive, do or die, what do you decide? Unified, undefeated if you fight enough. Only caveat is checking Augie's death. Head, shoulder.
I think it's gonna be a whole lot more music showcasing next season. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's happening? What's happening? Fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning happening right now.
Good morning.
Man. Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, top of the morning, Paul. Paul me. Pops
Yeah.
coming through. Paul 3 and 4. What's up, y'all?
I'm trying to figure out how you come in before the show starts, Pops. It's still a magic trick I don't understand, but I'm
Man, Pops still teaching you all these years later.
Good morning, y'all. Of course, we get the 7 o'clock hard start with the news today on our final show of the season. And but we'd like to come in early with the hellos and how you doing? It's Kimmer Snipes in the morning saying good morning. Appreciate you coming in early.
Hey, Cameron. Heard you ran into my sister the other day. Yeah, out on the town. Got your message. What's up?
What's up, man? Judy Prinzer in the chat said, good cold morning, family. Yeah, 22 degrees outside. 22. Not happy about it.
Man, that's the wind blowing. That's what. Ooh. Yeah. Keep it bottled up out there, y'all.
Yeah, man. Not with it. But anyway, good morning. If for those of you that just heard that morning track there, that's Augie Kid putting some stuff together, man. Gave me the call. He got projects coming out all the time. Like, we're gonna have to get with him definitely coming up the next season because he's got his hand on the pulse.
Yeah,
what's going on in hip hop, especially in our community. So shout out to Augie Kid for constantly grinding on tracks and doing the thing. And proud of.
Yeah, keeping the art going, man. You know, we about that as well.
Got to be. Kimmer says, share the teacher questionnaire I compiled on First Guy page. Please share with teachers, Appreciate that.
Man.
Yep. Mark Manor gives us a hello and how you doing? What's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's new, Mark?
We were just talking about, what's the name of that joint?
What?
Country and Cadillacs or something like that.
Oh yeah. You going line dancing? Was that
you asking me?
Yeah, Paul.
No.
Got a little rug.
No. Not doing it. But people seem to be excited about it. What's the name of it? What's it called?
It's something in Cadillacs. Hold on. It's
Country and Cadillacs or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. See, I don't know.
Pop says I have my Pops is able to come into the show before the show started. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Kimmer says, I was just asking when she talked to you last. Talking to Buddy. Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, First Guy family. Happy season finale. This season went by fast and slow at the same time. Well said.
Okay.
I feel the same way.
Okay.
I feel the same way.
Really?
Yeah, it did. It went by fast and slow at the same time, for sure. I think there's a lot of stuff that I'm talking about too is running into last season too. There's a lot of stuff that held over that we kept talking about this season from last season. So in one way, it feels like an especially long couple. I guess it's 2 seasons, but it feels long. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah. Heather Williams says, "Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you." Pop says Augie is unreal. Another great track. Right on,
man.
Right on, Pops. That's high praise, Augie. I hope you're listening. Julie Princess says guitars and Cadillacs. There you go.
Yeah.
Something like that.
According to Michelle, it's not it.
It's not it.
Yeah, she says guitars and Cadillacs isn't it.
I mean, it has been closed for like decades or something, right?
Only 21 years, according to headlines.
Wow. We'll see what it does now, man. We'll see what it does. You never know. Yeah, and I don't know why y'all tripping. Y'all the ones telling me about the black cowboys and stuff. We need to have a rodeo over there, I guess.
Hey.
Something. Blues shows or something over there.
Hey,
I'm always for more new venues around town. So we'll see. Maybe Mark can tell us. Yeah, tell us what it's about,
where the
Mark.
spots at? Where the spots at?
Kimmer says security there broke my cousin's job.
Joe, she corrected.
Oh, I never went there at all because of that. Oh,
Yeah,
y'all talking about the guitars and Cadillacs? Okay,
back in the day.
yeah. I mean, give them a chance. This is a new day. So they might, is it the same owners opening back up? See what's up. I don't know. I feel like we already talked about it too much.
Yeah. Hey, that's great.
Michelle Wanda Lewis gives us a peace sign. I see
Hey.
Facebook working over here. Good morning to you. Appreciate the messages. Also this morning, Sean McCarthy says, "Morning, everyone. 2024 seems a lot longer than other years. Happy last broadcast. Thank you." And
Let me
yeah,
see.
there's something
I
about
don't
the
know. She here flew by to me.
did it really?
Yeah, she here flew by.
There's something about this year that did not fly by for me. Lots happened, and it seemed like we were in it very intensely daily. So, it's not like I looked up and you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Mhm,
know. I don't
mhm.
know. Kind of went by fast too, though. Like he said, it went by fast and slow.
I would say election season kind of snuck up on me, and then when election season hit, yeah, things, yeah.
Election season
Man.
was long, bro.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that's
That messed me up.
yeah, yeah.
We going to have to do that different next time. That's really real.
Hey, but it's coming. There will be a next time.
Yeah, very true. Sean McCarthy says any season ending chat chimer meetup, and are the holidays going to be too busy for that? I don't know. My dream is to have chat chimer kickbacks during the summer break and the winter break. But
Yeah.
a lot of people are out of town during winter. A lot of people
Yeah.
doing the holidays, and but we'll see. We'll see if we can put something together. Because I love the face to face, man. I really love it when we all get together and we can meet the chat chimers. This really going to be the next season. Is going to be a lot of us doing a lot of that. Like the chat is going to be more of like a chat chimers club where since we got so many regulars and stuff coming, we're gonna do extra things than just come onto the chat. So it's gonna be a little vetting happening and all kinds of stuff like that, where we can kind of get together and speak face to face for real,
Man,
so
live
that
a
we can have a
life.
different kind of energy and different kind of way to speak to each other online. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. Christy North says yes. I think it's the same owners opening up again. Okay, that's a comeback story for you right there. Close your
Man,
club down
2020.
20 years later, open it back up.
Man, okay.
He says that is optimistic, that whole next time thing.
Okay. Well, you going with the Trump end of the democracy type. Is that what you're saying? Is that do you think there won't be a next time? Is that what you're saying, Mark?
Good question. I mean, good question, man. And
Hey, yeah.
we're reading stuff every single day where he's really already moving on, turning stuff around. So yeah, we'll see. Benjamin Jenkins in the chat says, "Watch Finding Kendrick Johnson last night. Must watch it on Tubi. Don't know why. Don't know they returned that child to his family with no internal organs, none, brain to pelvis. He was stuffed with newspapers. Goodness,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely heard about that story. Crazy story.
on Tubi. Tubi has. I want to. I never really dug into like some of the news documentaries and stuff on Tubi. I have to check it out. Uh,
Facts.
we got. I'm looking at the time. We got some special guests today coming through. So last show of the season, of course, and we appreciate everybody that's joined us today. We're gonna get the show started here in just a minute, but yeah, some folks coming. Of course, brother Qasim is gonna come in. We got to talk about the Nuri Muhammad visit and the Kwanzaa celebration that's coming up for
Man,
sure.
celebration.
Celebration. Also, Shonda Jones is going to join us. I know there was another name on the flyer, but that's the same the same organization, the
Mhm.
Skurlock Sports Academy.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to talk about that and a few other things, and we're kind of anticipating a little bit of a special guest. Hopefully somebody. I'm not gonna say it just in case it doesn't happen, but we might have another guest coming through in the end here, we got to catch up on a few things. Big news in the housing situation, all this work
Man,
trying to do with fighting the towers and so on.
break the towels.
So much to talk about it, and we're going to start up now, 7 o'clock, if you believe in the concept of time. Thanks for joining us. A fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Happening now.
Hey, don't touch nothing.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Get ready to chime in. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God.
What's good? What's good?
Yep, man, what's good with you? It's December 11th, and this is our final show of season 1B. Yeah, so appreciate everybody joining us today. We're gonna kind of keep it loose today, is what I'm kind of feeling like, buddy. Hope you're feeling that way too, man. Yeah. We definitely got some things to talk about. We do have some special guests coming up though. Brother Qasim's gonna join us, so we'll look forward to speaking with him, and also Chanda Jones is gonna join us as well and talk about the James Skurlock Sports Academy that we've been talking about for a little while now. So definitely want to hear from you. Let us know what's going to go on over the break. We're not coming back until January 15th. That's our return date next year. We won't see you. Somebody suggested in the chat that we put a Chat Chimers kickback together. That might be something we can do. And also we got some other stuff that's going to be happening throughout the break as well. So look for that. There might be some special broadcasts that they kind of pop up on you. So definitely stay tuned on that. Hit like and subscribe. Hit the bell on YouTube because, yeah, man, you might get a ring in the middle of this break.
Yeah, man. Ring.
Yeah. Ding, ling, ding. So we going, might have
the sound it makes. Is that how it sounds?
I don't know. Everybody on YouTube says smash that bell. I don't know how it sounds when you smash a bell, but
smash.
There it is. Kimber Snipes in the chat. Kimber Snipes. Oh, first of all, Mark Manor. He was extending his comment from before the intro, saying, "I don't see fair elections again."
Yeah, answering my question. Okay, going with the Trump doom, huh? End of democracy. You're saying.
I'll be anxious to see when we come back from the break. All that has changed over that period of time.
Man, well, I think we'll come in right. He goes in the 20th, right? Is that the inauguration day?
Sure.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
That
I'm already not looking for that next season. It's gonna be Trump. It's gonna be Trump. The whole season is gonna be Trump news.
All right.
Nah.
Get ready. Get ready. Linda McMahon. Oh man.
It's not gonna happen. We're not gonna let it happen. Here's why. Kimber Snipes posted something earlier about our own narrative. The reason why we do this is because we got tired of Channel 7 and them with their slant in their narratives. The theme of this show today is going to really have to be wrapped around that idea that the reason why we're here, journalism is activism, season 1B. Whole reason why we're here is because we need news narratives to be fair and just. We need a voice from our community. We need our community to be able to get the news they need, and also report the news the way that it needs to be reported, and stop creating this narrative that's going on. Buddy informed me this morning that there's been several articles in all of the news outlets talking about the babies and the shootings that's been going on, and they're painting a picture about our kids, our 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds and so on and so forth. And there's things happening, but there's also ways to report it. And one of the things that stood out for me this season was finding out kind of on the underground, like how many news outlets are kind of in cahoots with the mayor and so on and so forth. I'm not gonna say too much about it all,
man,
but there is this whole kind of PR side to the city, and who better to head up public opinion about the city than some of these news groups? It's kind of understandable to me that they're using certain news groups that way, but that ain't always the news. So She had a post that struck me. She tagged us all on it. That was basically saying, "Listen, we got to tell our own stories. We gotta shape our own narratives on what's going on, especially when it comes to our kids in our neighborhoods, in our
Mhm.
community." So that's on my mind today. I appreciate you bringing that up to me this morning, buddy, because with everything that we're going to talk about today, that's kind of the main theme. The reason why we're here doing what we're doing, the reason why we are constantly trying to expand and bring on new journalists and train citizen journalists and all the stuff that we're trying to do in order to expand this news desk that we're trying to build out here in order to disseminate the information the way it needs to be, and to do it fairly, and to do it in a way that can come, that has some solutions attached to it, instead of just the way that I see stuff. And I see stuff that happens in the news these days, and I'm just like, they're trying to just they're setting some things up. They're setting
Mm.
things up. People that are trying to pass laws, uh, prosecuting 12-year-olds and detaining 9-year-olds. It, it's sus to me that there is all these news articles out here talking about all these dangerous 12-year-olds. At the same time, they're trying to pass laws to detain 9-year-olds and prosecute 12-year-olds like adults and stuff like that. Got a lot to talk about when it comes to these things. So just wanted to put that out there before we got started, because I really do want to kind of keep it loose and talk to you guys today. I mean, this whole show is about discussion with you, the chat chimers, and I appreciate you guys getting up early with us on this last broadcast day for season 1B.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, appreciate that very much, buddy. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but like I said, man, I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. That because you're right, you're absolutely right. It ties into everything that we're trying to do right now.
Yeah, yeah. And through this, I'm constantly learning and correcting my perspective on a lot of things, especially with this fight that I'm anticipating is going to definitely ramp up next year, and when the legislature ramps up and we start seeing some of these bills being pushed, trying to again detain these young folk as adults and treat them as adults and really try to figure out what's going on and what can be done in our communities. Of course, we'll be talking about the Kasim, so I definitely want to dive more into that a little later on and direct the narrative and the conversation towards something more positive that is happening in our community. If you don't know about what Brother Kasim is doing with the young men in the community, so yeah, definitely want to talk about that. But of course, there's a lot of other things that we're going to continue to talk about. I know you mentioned how things kind of bleed over from previous seasons, and the conversations keep going on, and that's really going back to our style, what it is that we're doing here at First Guy Omaha. Not really presenting the news and just that being it, but actually trying to understand what's going on in our communities, understand what's going on around us, and using news as kind of a backdrop for that conversation, using what's going on in the news and what's not going on in the news to kind of help us, navigate through the waters, if you will. But yeah. I appreciate everybody who constantly joins the conversations. As Paul mentioned, we definitely want to do some things for you next season, and that's also something we want to focus on this episode. Again, the last episode of the season. Big thank you to everybody pulling up. It kind of seems like the chat's pretty active already this morning, so big thank you to everybody in the chat right now, all the First Guy fam out there. But yeah, just trying to focus on some of the things that we are working on behind the scenes, some of the things we do have coming up next year and next seasons, some things in between the seasons. Of course, if you're not already signed up for the weekly wrap, make sure you sign up for that. We will be continuing that throughout the break and going into next year, looking to do actually some different things, looking to grow it. A big thank you for a lot of people giving us feedback on that. Of course, we don't know what works and what doesn't work, so let us know. Like, we're just figuring it out as we're going, but this is something that we do think is important, as far as again continuing to spread the news, continuing to find ways to spread information, and have our voices heard. That's what it's all about, man. So yeah, with that, Paul B, man, what's the word? What's going on?
Yeah, man. There's a few things I wanted to talk about around town, but before we do that, I kind of wanted to jump into some of the chat that's happening
Yeah,
right
man, what's
now.
going
Just
on?
because, like I said, we try to keep it loose today. We might even go past. Where's RG3 at? We might even
Yeah, man, where you?
he might get his 3 hour show today. So strap in, because we're definitely going to do that. We're definitely going to get it in and talk a little bit about what's going to happen next season. A little bit of a recap of this season, some news, some community news, and of course talking to you and the comments that you have too. Kimber Snipe says, I started watching Jamie Foxx special. I couldn't get into it. She says, and I'm someone who went through a similar experience. I wanted to laugh, but I was doing a little of that.
Man,
And this is first of all, I did see that. I did watch the Jamie Foxx special. Powerful, super super powerful.
I got a story for you.
Ah, can't wait. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get to your story because I definitely want to hear about that. But the point I wanted to make here is I've been seeing a whole lot. I feel like Dave Chappelle's been doing this a lot too. There's a lot of comedy specials that are happening that are only kind of half funny. They're kind of more serious.
Mm.
And
Mm.
yeah, it was more like a one man show kind of thing that Jamie Foxx did with a few jokes sprinkled here and there.
Like a
So
monologue.
yeah, kind of like what she's saying. Like maybe they should call it something else. Like yeah, she said that. She says maybe it shouldn't be labeled a comedy special.
A man in a
These,
mic.
these are comedians that are finding that it might be a better idea to come with some authentic, heartfelt things that aren't necessarily funny all the time. Still throwing the jokes in. I've been noticing this a lot lately, and I like I said, I'm a Dave Chappelle fan, so I feel like that's where I saw it first,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm kind of seeing it all over. There was another person on another comic that I saw on Netflix one time that the whole thing was real somber. So interesting is this is going to pull at your heartstrings when you watch what happened here with Jamie Foxx for sure.
Really?
Yeah,
I
it's
still
going.
haven't
It's
watched it.
bro. It's he's telling what happened. He basically had a stroke. When that time frame that he was kind of had disappeared and didn't nobody know what was going on with his health
Mm-hmm.
and so on. But I mean, there was moments where he brought his daughter out to play guitar and sang with her, and I mean, it was a tearjerker for sure. Yeah,
Man.
it was very very much so. So interesting that you said that. I think it's a very important one for people to watch though for sure. I think you could definitely should check it out and see what this is. It's something new. So anyway though, anxious. Tell me
I
your story.
mean, it's nothing too crazy, but I actually had an opportunity to go to this. I got some tickets to go to this shoot. It was filmed out here in Atlanta,
Yeah.
and a few DJ friends of mine, I guess, got some tickets, and I had the opportunity to go and did not go, and just been kind of kicking myself. Yeah, man, yeah, I've been kicking
We gotta
myself
stop.
about
Me and
this.
you gotta stop that, bro.
Yeah, man, yeah. But I'm yeah, it's kind of interesting that Sister Kimber is bringing it up and talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's funny. I'm actually thinking about the passing of Sister, Giovanni, Nikki Giovanni,
Yeah.
and the likes of people like Jamie Foxx, not even really a just a comedian. I wouldn't even put like Dave Chappelle in that box. Like these are real griots, real like the humanities thespian, that level of, I don't even know, entertainer is a good word for it, like real artists, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So definitely capable of more than just kicking a couple jokes, man. It's deeper than that.
Yeah. Kimber says, I'm not saying it wasn't powerful. She says, I'm just saying that it didn't seem like a comedy special to me. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
that comedy stuck in your head on that one. But Pop says dramedy. She says I
Okay.
cried a few times watching it. Kimmer says when he came out on the stage, he had all that excitement. I completely felt that. I know what it's like to wake up after being in a coma and not know what the hell is going on, being told to die.
Mm,
Kind of, I kind of understand what she means on that. But yeah, like she definitely. I remember Kimmer talking to us about what she went through too, and it was similar. So yeah, the joy of him just surviving it. He came out with that, and like I said, it was more a testimony of that than it was jokes. Also, I wanted to definitely you mentioned Nikki Giovanni. She was just out here in Omaha. Girls Inc. brought her out, and
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony Rogers right in the chat. Good morning. Says Nikki Giovanni is one of the most important and beautiful Black forces ever. Yeah, we definitely needed to make sure that we gave her a rest in peace. Very very important poet and activist, renowned poet and writer Nikki Giovanni. She lived to 81.
Man.
We've watched stuff that she's been on TV with James Baldwin. That's kind of how I got introduced to her. I'm a James Baldwin dude, so the fact that she was on there holding her own with him was like,
Mm-hmm.
who is this? That was my introduction to her.
Man.
And so yeah, it was yeah. So yeah, man, and the fact like I remember being very excited that Girls Inc. was bringing her out to Omaha, and I didn't go to the show, but she was here, and since she had passed away so soon after that, it might have been one of her last appearances
Man.
here in Omaha. So yeah, so rest in peace, Nikki Giovanni, for real, man, for
Big
real,
time.
legend. Legend. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate that Anthony Rogers Wright bringing her up, and I definitely had intent to talk about that a little bit today. I'm gonna jump back into the chat real quick before we move on, man. Lots happening.
Yeah.
Stephen Abraham says, "Good morning, Grand Rising. We made it through another rotation.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate seeing that. That makes me happy when I see that too, because I'm just like, yes, we did."
Yes, yes.
Also, Sarah Phelps gives us a good morning, fam. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming on in. Kimber Snipes says shout outs to all the amazing men on the final Women's Wednesday. There you go.
Throwing a little shade. We got some ladies coming through today. Don't worry.
Slight shade there. I got you. I got you. Hey, it's all love. You know, we
Yeah,
family around here. Matthew Miller Jenkins says, if anyone has clothes they want to donate, please reach out to me. The distro efforts have given over 1,000 articles of clothing this past month for free. That's what's up.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Tis
what's
the
up.
season, man. Tis the season.
Get them, man. I got some jackets in my trunk right now. I need to get to somebody because I'm just like, if I ever come across any of that, or I can't use some or whatever, or I usually get them from other places. I
Mhm.
want to definitely drop those off because that's what I'd be thinking about. Like, how these people walking around here houseless, no jackets, in this kind of
Man.
weather. I look
Oh man.
outside and see that snowfall, and it look like death to me. So I just be like, I wanting to buy all the coats for everybody. Like,
It is hard.
what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Speaking of that, also a little food in the stomach goes a long way as well. As G. Miller Jenkins also saying, also want to plug Susan Brown for the last time this season in Lincoln. There are 200 kids getting food every week for free from her efforts to We Can Do This, We Can Feed Kids. You have, if you have time or money, please keep this program in mind during the break. And
First I've ever heard of that program.
yeah, man, that's huge. That's huge. Actually, we'll be talking about some volunteer, some things towards the end of the show a little later on as well.
That's some Black Panther vibes right there, bro.
That's what's hey man. We all we got.
Gwen Easter gives us a good morning. Good morning. Appreciate you coming on in. Marlon Harrison says our inauguration day is on MLK Jr. Day next year. Shake my head. Interesting.
Man.
Stephen Abraham says MolinaHelpFinder.com is a good way to find resources in your community. Simply put in your zip code and pick the resources column and select your desired resource the person is needing. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Man, you got
MolinaHelpFinder.com.
look at our chat with all this information, man. Make some things happen with everybody who's in here talking and got and knows some things like this. This is why we do this. Appreciate you. Christy North says the Omaha Police Association and Douglas County Sheriff have been out here pushing some racist rhetoric. Hanson's videos have been horrid. Christy North, we're gonna be talking about it. This is definitely the theme of the show today because we really need to talk about the journalism is activism. That's season 1B. Whole reason why we're doing this is because of this narrative that is being pushed out, and not just by the media anymore. I'm seeing so many more videos by the sheriff's department and all these.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's their news as well. So yeah, something else, man. Tressa Michael in the chat again. Give us a good morning. Appreciate you coming through. Also, Ariel's 402 said, "I lost sound. You got to go back and try to revamp. I think we're still good as far as that's concerned on our end." So,
Yeah. Hello.
yeah.
Can you hear me?
I don't know if he probably if he can't hear us, he can't hear me say that. So,
Yeah.
we'll see. Ariel's 402 says, "Jamie Foxx, the most talented man in Hollywood. He's bad.
Yeah, man.
He's bad." Kimber Snipes says, we already talked about that. Also, conversation with Cheryl Weston. Miss Cheryl Weston is in the chat. Good
Hey.
morning. Highly encourage you to go check out her channel on YouTube as well. Facebook. I think she's on Facebook too. Definitely check out some of the things she got going on and sign up to the newsletter for her. So we get their newsletter from her too.
Yeah.
And she's announcing what's going to come up on our shows and stuff like that. So when we talk about media in our community, this is a person who is really holding it down as well. So shout out to Miss Cheryl Weston. She said, "Would you explain to the public what it means to fight the algorithm?"
Yeah. Speaking of newsletter.
Yeah, absolutely. So we all know that the social media channels use algorithms in order to hide content. Your friends list on Facebook, for instance, doesn't get all of your posts because they got to funnel it, and they do it because they're trying to sell ads. So why would they
Yeah.
allow you to build an audience and be able to speak to that whole audience when they're also at the same time selling you the ability to pay them to reach that to reach more audience? So since that's their business model, they put algorithms in place that kind of funnel what it is that you're putting out there, so we can only reach so many people. And all these social media channels do that. The best way to reach each other is to reach each other directly. It's just like how we always preach, speak to each other face to face. The best way, if you want to deal in electronic or media based information, is to have your email address available for people to send their newsletters to, and you send feedback to our email address basically, and that's how we have a conversation without it being stopped, funneled, without anything. The algorithm also does stuff like tag stuff. Sometimes they have muted our shows on Facebook because we play some music that they say they think is copyrighted, even though it's mostly our music.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's copyrighted, and so they will mute part of the of our situation because they got all these other business interests in mind here. So the algorithm does all this work automatically to kind of hide things and to funnel the people that you're talking to and so on. So we want to fight that. And one of the best ways to fight that is to speak face to face, exchange email addresses, and talk that way. So, especially when it comes to the nature of what it is that we're trying to do here, sometimes it really means that we need to be one on one with everybody. We need to. This is not, as you can imagine. You see like how many people come in and talk here. For instance, we have a chosen few folks that come through. We have some chat chimers that are regulars. We have some ghost listeners that will chime in, but it only reaches a certain level. It's not going to go past that unless we actually tell a friend, have people tune in to us,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. That's because we're always trying to fight this algorithm. So appreciate you reminding me to let people know about what that means. And when this is our version of fighting the algorithm, is signing up to the newsletter. We get this information. We can continue the conversation. You can send back feedback. We can go back and forth, and we can do it all from our email addresses, which means that we will always get the information and not be funneled or stifled by any of the social media uh, outlets.
Yeah.
We're stuck we're doing YouTube and Facebook because they haven't gone as far as like what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter now, and so on and so forth. And we're constantly looking for other social media outlets that don't do that kind of stuff.
Fan base.
Fan base being the main one right now, a black owned media social media company called Fanbase, owned by Isaac Hayes III, and this is really growing, and he is all about you being able to reach as many people as you possibly can. So if we get 1 million listeners over there, we can talk to 1 million people instead
Yeah.
of how Facebook had. We can have 1 million followers on Facebook right now and only 50,000 hear it, or 50 hear it even, depending on what the algorithm is doing. So
On that point, Pops in the
yeah,
chat. He says, yes, I have over 3,000 Facebook fans and less than 50 get my posts. Gotta fight the algorithm, man.
fight the algorithm.
Yeah.
Yep. Appreciate it. We're continuing on with community news, which in this case is y'all in the chat talking. Appreciate you guys coming on in this morning and having a lot to say for our final show of the season 1B. We're going to probably go a little bit longer than the scheduled 2 hours that we do. Like I said, or we might even go 3 today. We'll see.
Yeah.
How the conversation goes, but we definitely want to keep it loose and also talk about everything that you guys want to talk about today as well. We also got some special guests coming in though too, so we definitely want to make some time for that. I can't wait to speak to Brother Qasim about some of these things. But yeah, man, really appreciate everybody that's coming in on our last show here. Tell a friend, do us a favor and share the show on your page too. I forgot to tell you that. Share the show on your page, get as many voices in as we can, and yeah, let's have a good season finale. Before we get to some news, I would want to jump back into the chat real quick. Sean McCarthy says these specials, kind of talking about the special that Jamie Foxx just did, said kind of remind me of Richard Pryor's post-accident performance, where it's far more storytelling and then stand-up performance.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I remember that. He came back after he had set the stuff on fire and all kinds of stuff that happened. He came back and he had a heartfelt conversation about what really happened, and that's what Jamie Foxx just did last night. A heartfelt kind of a one man performance of like, hey, this is what happened to me, and he told the story, and it was a very, very heavy storytelling special that had some jokes sprinkled in, and that makes sense to me. That's what I'm glad you brought that up. That's exactly what it reminds me of. I feel like Richard Pryor started that. For in my world anyway. Sue Kessler Hagen in the chat says, "Good morning, all. I'm in Hot Springs with my daughter for a girls only trip.
Okay.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
That's
safe
what's up.
travels. Safe travels.
I hope that we can get in a little traveling over this break.
Yeah, a little cloud hopping. And if anybody else has plans out there, let us know what's going on. What you
Yeah,
doing?
for sure. Pop's talking about Nikki Giovanni, rest in peace. Says, yeah, yep, Nikki and Angela were born icons. We knew it the first time we heard them. Hail to the queens. That's what's up. Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat says, I would like to publicly thank Luigi Mangione for leading the amazing training here in Omaha last week between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. It was amazing and life changing. Okay. Are you talking about the bruh?
I was waiting for you to catch it, man.
This man tripping. Y'all are tripping. Wish it was amazing instructor.
I was waiting for you to catch it, man. That's interesting. Now, I did. There is an article about how Nebraskans are being impacted by the United Healthcare situation, and brother Mike Lee kind of mentioned that there might need to be more conversation about this. But yeah, trolling, they trolling. Got you good.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, if for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the guy who killed the CEO, the health insurance CEO, he got arrested.
Yep.
McDonald's snitched on him. What's funny to me is all these other fast food
Yeah.
restaurants that jumped on that.
Burger King, we don't snitch. Oh man.
Y'all tripping, bro. Tripping. Sue Kessler Hagen in the chat says, yesterday my daughter and I went to Little Rock and toured the Central High School from the Central High Nine. I think they were called, but I had heard of that group that was not entirely aware of what happened. So it was extremely interesting to me to see all the history of what happened. And honestly, I was in tears many times finding out what all these 19 teenagers went through. You have to remind us about what happened there. You said the Central High Nine. Yeah, let us remind us about what happened there. Appreciate you sharing that with us also. And yeah, appreciate everybody that's on here, man. He says a happy season finale, brothers. Appreciate you,
Thank you.
Anthony
Thank
Rogers.
you.
Right? Yep. Yeah. And with that, man, it's already 7:27, and we're gonna continue to have a kind of a loose show today, and make sure that we have enough conversation, not just in the first hour, but in the second, not just in the second hour, but in the first hour too. We're gonna make sure that we have some conversation today, and it might even be a third hour today. We will see how the conversation goes. So appreciate you guys coming on in with all your comments and everything that's happening as well. I was just trying to look and see if there's some other things that I tried to pull. There is something coming up here for, well, first of all, you already know we got to talk a lot about the shows that are happening. That's going to be happening over the break, especially brother Nuri Muhammad's coming to speak December 27th. This is happening at the Assembly of the Saints. It'll be the biggest Kwanzaa celebration in the Midwest. Shout out to Black Agenda Alliance, Malcolm X Memorial Foundation that are putting this together. There's going to be other guest speakers, vendors, and more. So again, we'll make sure that all these things get posted in Friends of First Sky Omaha. If you haven't already seen them, just put them on your calendar, because these are some of the important things that are happening coming up for sure as well. Also, speaking of important things, shout out to Sherman Wells. This is happening in about 4 days on the 15th. He says
Man.
next sermon with Sherman episode is going to be very intense and graphic. I will be featuring evidence from a family fighting for justice after their loved one's murder was covered up as a suicide, with Iowa officials being accused of negligence and poor investigation. Viewer discretion is advised. Justice for Brian Spencer Jr. #. So definitely, he's been setting up for this and working
Man.
on it. We definitely want to make sure that we tune in when that happens in a big way. So shout out to them. Also, shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney and Senator Ashley Spivey. Put some respect on their names. District 11 and 13 North Omaha Town Hall, that's free and open to the public, is happening on the 18th from 6 to 7 p.m. at North High. Come and make your voice heard, and come and meet the senators, the new dynamic duo that we're going to be bringing back next season to come and talk about what's going on in the legislature as it goes. So shout out to them for continuing to do the good work. They don't just be campaigning; they're hitting the ground running in a
Man.
big way.
Really talking to the people.
Really talking to the people. Also, we'll talk about this maybe towards the end of the show, but of course, Omaha Entertainment Awards is happening. It's coming up February 16th. Highly encourage you to get your tickets early on that. It's going to be a pretty special show as well. And even before that, the work that they're doing, there's going to be a art showcase that's happening the opening reception for OEA's Visual Arts Showcase for the 19th Annual OEA Awards is happening. That's also coming up February 7th. So there'll be some more information on that on Friends of First Sky Omaha too. You can kind of come and see what's going on with the visual art first before you see the award show happen, where they'll be giving the awards for all those categories. So that's what's up. So yeah, if I'll save some of the other haps that's coming up in the community for later. We definitely want to make sure that if you have any haps that you are getting down with, we really want you to put those in Friends of First Sky Omaha so we can all have access to them. And yeah, we most definitely got to get busy there. So shout out to everybody who's been doing that. And thanks for everybody who's coming, man. We got to talk about it today. It's all about journalism is activism for us. Season 1B, our final show of the season. And this the narrative here for us is news narrative in our neighborhoods, in our community, the ones that we're in control of, and not letting mainstream media provide narrative.
Man.
We got to talk about it. But before we do that, let's jump into some of the news articles that Buddy pulled. I feel like I've stepped all over his time. I don't want to do that no more. Let us know what's going on for the top headlines today, my man.
Yeah, man. You kind of actually set it up just right, man. Journalism is activism is definitely the mindset, definitely the theme, and definitely the point. The central of the conversation. And we've been impacting a lot of the stories that we'll be talking about today. We kind of mentioned with what we'll be talking about, hopefully with Brother Qasim a little later on, some of the violence, and hopefully to direct that conversation, or is it as much violence as being reported? I will be getting into that. But one of the big stories that's breaking, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about what's going on with OHA. There's been an injunction set on Omaha Housing Authority. Again, the whole conversation about the bed bugs still fighting the towers. That campaign is still going strong. And even now, months after, again, we spoke to Brother Hassani Lee, getting the update that he was successful in getting his father moved out. But still a lot of tenants still dealing with the reality of Omaha Housing Authority. And again, speaking of changing the narrative, we do know that some, major media outlets out there, ABC, CBS affiliates, trying to, tell a certain story, but we know those computers don't work. We know that's not even a real apartment. That's just the lobby they showing.
Bro,
So
even the
yeah.
reporters were like, yeah, they kind of made me do that.
So that conversation still continues. Big shout out to Brother Paul Fowlman out there doing the work, pounding the pavement, boots to the roots, still, again, giving a voice to the voiceless. So we'll be talking about that a little later on. Also, definitely some other things happening in the news. There's some developments happening in North Omaha. We've been kind of talking about OEDC. Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, put some respect on his name. Looks like OEDC is pretty busy, not just with the airport business park, but as KETV and WOWT is reporting, 6 new developments all along North 24th, stemming from OEDC. But there's some things happening, some conversations in the community that I'm not seeing on the news. That we should probably be talking about with these developments. Definitely would love to hear your thoughts on that, especially, again, those of you who frequent the Deuce, man. What are your thoughts? Also, again, big shout out to Sister Kimra for posting something on our Friends of, if you're not already a part of Friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook, definitely make sure you join that group page. Check it out. That's where the conversation continues. And yeah, again, as we have Brother Qasim coming on, as I was preparing for today's show, I kind of saw it a lot of shoot headlines involving teens and gun violence in the community. And Sister Kimra is pushing as far as, again, being our school board member, resident school board member here on First Sky Omaha, and always thinking about the babies, always thinking about the next generation and the narrative surrounding that. Again, a lot of shootings happening, but what's the reality? So we'll definitely be talking about that. And a few other things happening in the news, some state news. Apparently, the medical cannabis saga continues. Now, a former senator stepping up and challenging the people's will, if you will. Again, the people voted to have medical marijuana in the state, but it looks like there's still a fight in that situation. So all that and more over the next few hours. Again, last episode of the season. Still see people rolling in. So again, let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. We'd love to hear what you have to say on these topics, on these issues, on these stories. So good morning, Brother Peyton Zyla coming through. I see you. Paul B, what's the word?
Man, appreciate you guys coming through again. Like Buddy said, on the last day of the season, we will end our season 1B today, and then we won't be back for season 2B until January 15th. But we want you to stay tuned because there's going to be some things happening in between. We won't be live that month. We usually take that time to just take a little break, but also to build up some things for the next season. And there'll be some things that we're going to be dropping and some impromptu shows that's going to happen in between there too. So we highly encourage you to go to YouTube, hit the bell so that you can get that notification when we do these impromptu, surprise shows, and you don't miss them and don't miss an opportunity to come in and comment on them as well. So I appreciate everybody who is already done that. We highly encourage you to do that. Also, Maggie Miller Jenkins in the chat is reminding me to plug Kimra Snipes and her school board meeting that is coming up. She had suggested that we all get together and come on this. First of all, that's the day she's going to get sworn in as well. But she also wants us to really kind of make sure that we start hitting these meetings. It's a good opportunity for us to all meet together and have the fam come show up for another member of the fam, but also so that we can see the new facilities, and get used to coming through on school board meetings and everything else we need to do. So Kimber says, I'm inviting everyone on January 6th to come to the Omaha Public School Board meeting. It's the night I get sworn in. And yes, I would love to look out there and see the seats full of people showing up for our babies. She says, I want you to show up because the district needs you. It needs the families, the associates, the businesses, and other institutions. We as a community are stakeholders, and what happens in the school district is just as important as what happens at city council, city commissions, state, senate, and elsewhere. I hope to see you there. So we'll definitely keep posting this on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and she's actually put a event page up for this. As you can see there, you can hit whether or not you're interested in going, or if you're going. So go check that out. Community support for OPS. And we'll put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha with a link so you can hit that and let everybody know that you're coming. More people that we get to go, more support we can have for her, and the more we can get used to going. So that's what that's all about. So shout out to Kimber Snipes for encouraging that, so we can be more engaged with what's going on with the school district, which she always mentions is got a budget that's big as the cities. It's like a whole little city. January 6th. That's when Michelle Moreno's asking, when is it? January 6th. So yeah, definitely be checking that out. Like I said, Friends of First Sky Omaha. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright says, yes, one more HAP Heartland Environmental Justice Center will be coming to Omaha and Lincoln in January to increase awareness of Infiltration Reduction Act money, and more folk can get their hands on it more soon. Okay. Right on. Appreciate that information. We'll have some more information on that. Please post that in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. Also, I've been hearing, couldn't find the article about it this morning, but I've been hearing that people that have reached out for some rental assistance are about to be postponed and put on a waiting list. So we're looking for that information. We find that we'll post that there too, and about what that means as well. So yeah, man, there's a few things that we got to look out for. Like I said, the conversation continues in the group page and most importantly on the newsletter. So please sign up to the newsletter and make sure that we can continue to have those conversations that way. Black Dynamite in the chat. He says, good morning, y'all. We halfway there. Appreciate appreciate you coming on through. And also Ariel's 402 says, are there any OHA updates? We will definitely be talking about that. Matter of fact, buddy, what you thinking? You want to take a quick break and come back and jump in?
Yeah, we can. We also have our special guest coming up. So yeah, look out for that here in a second. A few things waiting in the wings. First Guy Omaha in the morning. Yeah. We can take a quick break though. Smell the coffee beans. Take a whiff. Take a sip of that drunk ship. Yeah.
Right on. Shout out to Ugly Kid. I'm gonna keep on playing his track that
he
made in honor of First Guy Omaha. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned.
All I know is dying. It feels so cold in my mind. I'm smiling, the laughing man keeps me. Political spouses in the spot getting knocked. Raised for the cops, celebrate a great job. Nobody noticed, old plot rolled off. City in shambles being wrapped in a culture shock. Northeast, Omaha, Nebraska, never put it past us. Anyone can get it. The get in is different for looking out. Treat you like a bear when they put it down. Whoa, hard times make it hard-headed, and yet a hard head might save its life. Soft behind, a little undefined, because giving advice is not the same as being right. Speechless, it was never an option. Bam, examine, troublemaker kid got it. Honest, nothing picture perfect in the village. In words of J. Crumb, I'm a mom villain. Good
Welcome back. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning. My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the Guy.
Hey.
Man, shout out to Augie Kid, bro. Doing the thing. Appreciate
Hey,
everybody
man.
who's joining us and coming on in. And we do have a special guest waiting in the wings. Let's go ahead and bring them in.
Yeah, bring them on in.
All right. You want to do the honors?
Yeah, without further ado, our friend, your friend, brother man, Qasim Shabazz. Again. Yeah.
What's going on?
What's up, brother?
What's
How
going on?
How you doing?
Alhamdulillah. Working. Was good, man. How y'all feeling?
I'm good.
Man. Hey, wait a minute. Did you put on the purple light in the background just for us?
Man, listen. So I got the oversee contract for Nelson Mandela. So I'm here, beautiful school. I've gotten an opportunity to learn the culture, man, and it's beautiful. So yeah, I'm here at the school.
Okay. You work in security?
Yeah, I got the contract for Nelson Mandela.
Man, congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Man.
That's a feather in their cap to have that security team on deck.
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't announced it, but I also just got a bodyguard detail for Chink Diamond. You know, they hit me up personally, man, yesterday. So I'm shout out to her, man. For the love.
Man. Yeah, big time, man. I'm telling everybody that'll listen about, Sister Chink, man, down here in Atlanta. Definitely proud of what she's doing. Congratulations to her on, rhythm and flow, love and hip hop. She's doing big things, man. So yeah, big shout out to Chink Diamond and the family, man. Shout out to Sister White Shell as well. Whole situation with Tep. Yeah, we definitely thinking of y'all, man. Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge, man. What else is new? For those who don't know, again, the BAA is active. I've been seeing you very, very active and kind of chiming up about the Young Men Academy that you have going on. I see we've been plugging the whole Kwanzaa celebration with Brother Nuri Muhammad. So what are you excited about? What's going on? Talk to us.
Well, myself and Sherman, we have a gun seminar getting ready to take place on the 14th.
That too.
If you guys seen that flyer,
yep.
Gun education, safety, defense, and all that type of stuff. That that will flourish into other things beginning of the year.
Okay.
Then we have Brother Nuri Muhammad coming, of course, for Kwanzaa, the 27th, which is a Friday at the Assembly of the Saints. Huge shout out to Assembly of the Saints, man, the greatest spiritual institution in the city. And they've shown us nothing but love and support and just opening up the doors for us, for Dr. Umar and Dr. Nuri Muhammad and everything, man. It's shout out to Pastor Ballard and them, man.
Yeah, beautiful. Kind of what spurred this Kwanzaa celebration, and what can the people expect?
Well, for one, we talk about collaboration on a regular basis, so this is a collaboration between the Black Agenda Alliance and the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. I would love to read a statement from them here shortly.
Okay.
But to bring knowledge, to bring education, to bring something that is uniquely designed to uplift us. There was a time and the NOI is what got me out of the street, so I couldn't find anybody better other than Brother Nori or Brother Rizza to come and deliver us a message coming into the new year. Brother is heavy, man. Man. That's what we need. We need that real juice around here. And then the collaboration in itself with the foundation is monumental, So once given an opportunity, I would love to read a statement from them.
Please do. Please do.
I mean, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So we are excited to partner with the Black Agenda Alliance, BAA, for this year's Kwanzaa celebration as we embark on a monumentous year celebrating what have been Malcolm's 100th birthday, May 19, 2025. This collaboration embodies the spirit of his legacy. Malcolm once said, when I is replaced with we, even illness become wellness. This statement reflects the power and importance of unity, shared purpose, and community-driven efforts, all principles that lie at the core of both Kwanzaa and our collective work in the Omaha community. We are especially excited to welcome Brother Nuri Muhammad as part of his celebration. Part of this celebration. His presence and message are a testament to the ongoing relevance of Malcolm's vision, a call for collaboration, self-determination, and the strengthening of our communities. Through shared values, community partnerships like this remind us that together we can achieve greater impact, inspire change, and honor our collective heritage. We look forward to celebrating Kwanzaa with you all and continuing to build bridges that empower and uplift our community. Malcolm X Memorial Foundation.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
I feel like we've been waiting for that, man. I know all things happen at the time they're supposed to happen, and I'm so happy to see that. When I saw the two symbols on the top of this flyer, because that's the first I had heard that you guys had actually partnered together on this, I was very, very excited. Like, man, we've been waiting on BAA and Malcolm X Memorial Foundation to partner, and
Yes,
it's happening on a tremendous occasion. I've been telling people it's going to be the biggest Kwanzaa celebration in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be beautiful. And we appreciate First Sky. We will be flying our First Sky banner in that bad boy.
Yay. Yeah. Love to hear it.
That bad boy is crispy, almost ironed up and ready. So we appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man, for constantly keeping the community with that information and knowledge and power and all of that, man. So thank you all.
Man. That's hey, we just trying to play our role, and follow your lead, because you definitely showing leadership and manhood and in the community, and being kind of a pillar of that. And that's one of the main things I wanted to talk to you about today, is what's going on in the streets, in the community, this narrative that we've kind of been alluding to throughout the show today. And I know that you're boots to the roots, front lines with what's going on with our young folk in the streets, and wanted to hear from you as far as changing the narrative of what's been kind of pitched. As Sister Kimra put in the Friends of First Sky, she says, these folks who want to arrest our 12-year-old babies as adults ain't playing. They got the newspaper, and who knows else stumping for them. We got to create our own factual narrative, I see, and use our own news outlets. And it's not just her. I saw that as I was preparing for today's show, several outlets, headlines connecting teens to shootings. And I know you've had your own run-ins with our young folk out here, and again, you're on the front lines, but you're also working to kind of bring that out, as far as change that and change that narrative and work with those who are on the path. And I just kind of want to hear from you as far as the narrative, as far as what you're seeing. Is it really, how bad is they're seeing it? Are they saying it is? As far as the amount of young folk out there involved in the foolishness, or is it different than what we're seeing?
Well, let's do this, man. It honestly, man, is worse than what was being portrayed.
Wow.
Through media, and that comes from being connected and understanding them. But you will only understand them if you are around them. I am around them, so I understand them. It's quite sad. We repeatedly say these things, and I hear big shout out to Sister Kimra and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But everybody know what we do, and we do get a lot. We get a tremendous amount of support, but where the support could come from, it doesn't, because we want to align ourselves a certain way. However, we are the most impactful in what we do, especially when it comes to Black youth, and specifically driving them into being culturally grounded. So two things can be true at the same time, and I just feel like, man, it's the condition, and it also is the reason why we bring people like Dr. Umar and Nori Muhammad, you see what I'm saying, into the fold of things, because they are the ones who are coming with the legitimate information and education. No one else is doing that. You see what I'm saying? So what we do is we continue to apply pressure. We're opening up registration for our programming here shortly. There's going to be a big year we're getting ready to come into, and we're already coming into it with a bang, so it's go time. And there are two separate forces, working against each other. Unfortunately, they're Black. You have us, and then you have them. You have us, in whom we're looking at strategy and the best way that's best fitting to us as a people through culture. And then you have the others who they're making big money, $100,000 here, $250,000. They're getting these big salaries, all this money that then came into the city. We ain't touched none of it ever. You know, it's a lot of salaries around here being paid. It's a lot of selling out going on. I mean, I hear all this, man, but this reactive culture stuff is killing me. You see what I'm saying? Whereas I can, you know, put some stuff up. And again, we get a lot of support. You know what I mean? But the reactive culture to gun violence is a whole lot higher than it is to what we're doing as far as getting these little boys out the street. Is crazy. The psychology behind it is wild. You see what I'm saying?
Well, preventative is what you're talking. You're talking about preventative stuff that you guys do.
Yeah,
go ahead. As opposed to the reactive, like the I feel like the police department and stuff like that, they react to the violence instead of like prevent, like you guys prevent, which is the reason why we're behind y'all on that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying in a nutshell, is that stuff like police brutality and 14-year-olds getting shot, you know, that get more publicity and more energy from our people than the preventative measures that are actually effective and impactful, and even from the so-called supposed leadership in the city. You know what I mean? But you have to understand, man. You know what? I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it, Paul B. My mind is all over the place, man. It's really emotional for me. It's really emotional for me, man, and it's really sad. You know, our situation have gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better, but
you're doing well, man. You're informing us and informing everybody about what's really going on. I think you hold everybody's respect level because you're actually boost to the roots, dealing with these kids one-on-one. I've witnessed it firsthand of you guys talking to the actual kids that are actually in the situation, and so if you're telling us that it's even worse than what we've seen out here, we even more concerned because your word holds more weight than a lot of people's in the city, as far as I'm concerned, especially the media, the news media. So you know, if they're not even getting it all the way, they're painting a certain picture. And one thing they're definitely leaving out is this preventative part. Right. It's the part where they don't highlight those parts. Things could be even worse than you're probably even describing if it wouldn't been for you and your organization and people like your organizations out here trying to boost to the roots, prevent some situations from going down. So that you know, I can tell that you're very emotional about this. I can tell that you can start going off any minute on this, and we might need some of that, but let's direct it towards the solutions here. Let's talk more about this preventative. Let's talk about what we can do to support y'all with the preventative, what we can do. You know, when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter whose fault it is or who's doing what or how the media is reporting it. It matters that you guys that we all boost to the roots with these kids and to prevent things in the first place. Tell us more about what we can do to prevent any of these things. How can we be involved? Let's let the people know how they can be involved with y'all, whatever we need to figure out.
Donations, volunteer, you know, wrapping your arms and hearts around actually learning what it is we do, hearing from the parents, hearing from the children that we impact. You know, we always say that people will speak for us on our behalf in regard to what would have worked and what have not. You know, we got a gun seminar coming up. We got Nori, you know, putting ourselves in a position where we're actually educating ourselves to understand the importance of wrapping our arms around what's effective and what isn't. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we take donations, we take volunteer, you know, show up to the Kwanzaa, show up to the gun seminar. I mean, even that, you know, those are educational pieces. There's a lot you can do, you know, to get involved. We're here, we're open to the community whenever, you know. Yeah. But I would say overall, you know, to make the bigger picture brighter, you know, we educate ourselves. I'm trying not to read these comments as I've been told I'm a beautiful counter. I'm gonna let you brothers, because it's emotional, man. It's sad. I get sick of hearing what these numbers is. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about who's saying what. I don't care, because the origin of the Caucasian, the origin of the sheriff's department, the origin of the police department is to lie on us. Okay, that is their origin. I don't care what numbers are saying. Numbers ain't done nothing for me It ain't done nothing for us. I'm tired of hearing about numbers. I'm looking at the condition. I'm not thinking about numbers. I'm looking at the condition. Y'all asked me a question. Y'all said, is it as it's portrayed? I'm telling y'all that it's worse than what they're saying. Hell, they're sparing us. I'm in it. So I'm telling y'all that it's worse. I don't care about numbers and all that. That doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Where the numbers from? You see what I'm saying? I don't care about the Caucasians' numbers.
Yeah. You got to get the numbers from the people that are in it.
Man.
If you don't get numbers at all, and numbers are really for the people that aren't in it to try to get a viewpoint of what's actually going on. They kind of that's the way I look at it is like that. When I'm looking at stats and reports, I'm thinking who went in the hood and actually got these. Like you get like these numbers are always for people who are not in it. People like you, people like Kimber Snipes, people that are actually in the situation can bring back the news. That's why I say your word holds more weight than the media and people like that, because you're in it and you're letting us know. And I can see why you would not be concerned about how many numbers and what's going on that point. You're in it, you're seeing, you're feeling the vibe, you're working with these kids. Makes sense to me. So I appreciate that. I think everybody's kind of in agreement. We are talking a little bit about the numbers. I see some people that are trying to throw some solutions out there, like Tony Johnson saying we need to apply pressure to the school board members for not addressing the high suspensions, expulsions, black students, while suppressing publicity of events in the school. I think some of that might work. I think that we're talking about it a little deeper level.
Not to cut you off, I'm not worried about because those that are in that position to do that need to do that shit. They need to do that. Right. We are creating solutions of our own outside of the educational platform. Right. The educational platform is designed to do exactly what it's doing to our children. It's designed to do that. We set up things outside of the system. We can't keep trying to attack a system that is not designed to work for us. And then they put blacks in position that are going to align with the agenda. Okay? They never put a Qasim Shabazz on the school board. It'll never happen. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I don't care what nobody say, man. Come get your feet wet the real way. I don't care about school boards. I don't care about the sheriff's. I don't care about none of that. Yeah, it's go time.
Feel that. I feel that. I feel we can stick there for sure, buddy. What's on your mind?
No, I hear what he's saying. We think of what happened with brother from the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
You talking about Brother Sharif?
Yeah, brother Sharif Luwawu, who worked for OPS and did try to speak up about the expulsions and suspensions, as brother Tony Johnson is alluding to, and they gave him the boot.
Yeah,
quick, and that was his job. You know what I mean?
It makes sense what we're talking about here, bro. We're outside of that. We spend time talking about school board. We have people from the school board on. We definitely gonna keep engaging with Kimra on those levels. But like Brother Qasim, like you said a little earlier, both ideas can be held. There's some truths all over the place. We need to be attacked from all sides, and we talk about that other stuff all the time. This thing right here is the main attack. The way that you're talking, this preventative stuff that we got to do with the kids and getting your feet wet, like you're saying. And I definitely am glad that you brought that up so we can concentrate on that. In the chat, real quick.
I'm from these. Give me two. I'm from this. Yeah, I'm from these streets. I'm still in these streets. I'm from this ghetto. All right, I ain't seen a political solution yet, on no level. I don't care what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, it's gotten worse. Okay, keep coming with these milquetoast solutions. Because everybody's scared to show up to a Dr. Umar. Everybody's scared to show up to your supposed leadership because they want to stay in the pockets of the masters. You see what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. It's taking everything in me this morning, brother. Because I'm tired, man. I'm patient with what processes we have set in place, but man, I'm so sick of this shit, man. Like, all this talking, all this school board, all this, man, that shit don't work. It ain't work. I need somebody to get in them positions that's actually gonna move the thread, move the needle, and know how to do it. Because you can't do it alone. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then the folks that look like us that are sitting in them positions, man, I got to see something. I ain't seen a political solution yet for my city that have actually been impactful for me, from my lens. Show me something. and our situation getting worse. Show me something.
I want to address something that's
money that came into the city, and that's not going to change nothing either. Come on, man. Let's I'm sorry, Paul B. Man, let me drink.
Don't apologize, bro. We here.
No, you good. That's what we're here to talk about.
We're here to hear from you, bro.
Right. That's what we're here to talk about. And some things that you've been addressing are being addressed in the chat. And that's where I wanted to go to, because you're right. You know what I'm saying? Even if we had a perfect school board, even if we had the perfect solutions or a situation from our elected officials, there's one situation that's been addressed as far as the parents. That will make all that for naught if the parents aren't supporting, if the parents aren't showing up, if the parents aren't reinforcing those things at home, making sure they can have the best teachers in the world assigning all the homework and all this, that, and the third, but if the parents aren't making sure it's being done, then that's a problem. Then it's
shout out to Ashley Spivey, shout out to Terrell McKinney, the greatest political figures in my mind that the city has seen. Okay, and they need time to do their work. They gonna work because they were working prior to those positions.
Right.
That's what we need to see a whole lot. Y'all want something done? We need to see a whole lot of that, and because those shout out to them. Okay, I want to come with some correction. Shout out to Ashley Spivey. Shout out to Terrell McKinney, your senators. I do believe some things are going to take place. Okay. But prior to that, man, and they need time to do their work, and Kimra too, for her position. And so it takes time. I just don't want us putting all of our eggs. We need to put more eggs in setting up systems for ourselves. That's all that I'm saying.
You saying it well, bro. We can't say it no better than that. That's exactly where I feel like it needs to go. And put that concentration on that. I appreciate you saying it in a big way. Skevo Slim in the chat, peace to the God. We got some folks in here that are saying that. Heather Williams said he is right, it's worse. Many blessings. Ariel 402 says many blessings to you and yours, brother Qasim. Ariel's 402, that's Mayor Sanchez. So you talking about
Mayor Sanchez,
Mayor Sanchez coming out, man. And so we talking about some folks that are out here, volunteering and doing the thing.
That's the brother.
For sure. So appreciate that. I want to put that out to the chat. Please hear that. Please hear that message. We do talk about school board and other things all the time, and other areas of trying to fix things. But this is the most important one as far as we're concerned about how to fix what needs to be fixed. And the first thing to do is get this information. The information is things out here are worse than we're seeing. And that's putting it on us too, man. We supposed to be out here really kind of disseminating this news. So I'm sitting here feeling that myself. Like, First Sky Omaha needs to get more of a report from people like Brother Qasim and Brother Qasim in particular to find out what's really happening here. And because everything that we're trying to do is about solutions. Can't have solutions until we get kind of the picture of what's actually happening. And we can't always rely on, like you say, the numbers of these other organizations that are putting these numbers out. Yeah. They don't mean much. That's the big thing. This brother's word means everything.
That's the big thing. It's figuring out what's going on in our community and then next what to do about it. Unfortunately we can't rely on some of the major outlets because we do know that the numbers are skewed for whatever ends that they're being used for.
Well, buddy, that's the thing, not to cut you off. That's the thing is that's what they're being skewed for the end. Okay, they got to run them numbers up for that money. Mm-hmm. It's like some of these black organizations sit in these rooms weekly, all right, to run them numbers up. Okay, it's a money game. Our pain is worth a lot of money. Mm-hmm. If we stop doing what we were doing tomorrow, the gang unit is out of money. These nonprofits that are running around here lying about what they're doing, they're out of money, their salaries. So our revival will impact a lot of people who were making good money off of our struggle. They got to run the numbers up. Then you have people that are sincere like Kimra, and the argument is fair. You know what I mean? Because she's working against a system that's going to continue to try to run the numbers up. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So that they can continue to make their ends meet. Man, we paying a lot of $1 million salaries out here. $100,000, $200,000, all this, you know what I mean? It's a lot of salaries out here being paid behind our pain, man. And they look like us.
Yeah, and it's not just the bottom line. That's what I was kind of getting to. It's not just the money behind it, but also the policies that they create to create more pain, which is really the big point of this conversation that I wanted to get to. As far as we know that these bills are coming, we know that the organizations, the unions, the organizations are going to push and step up behind these bills to try to not only line their pockets, but put more people behind bars, more of our young folks behind bars. And
And
we yeah,
younger.
and younger. And we love talking to you because we see that you have the solutions, you have the proof is in the pudding as far as the work that you're doing. The parents are chiming up, like Sister Michelle Moreno, saying that, speaking up and saying you working with her son and some of the things like that. And that's really the question that I want to answer is, as a community, what can we do? And it really sounding like it's not even just we got to step up. That's really what I'm hearing. It's weird what I'm seeing, because I even earlier wanted to allude to the parents, but shout out to brother Anthony Rogers, right? Who's right? He says if the parents are forced to work 3 jobs to put food on the table and make ends meet, we can't also expect them to be superhuman. Which is true. Some parents are just struggling to make ends meet, and then they have to deal with behavioral issues with children, and it's a lot. Having 3 kids, it's a lot. I understand. So what as a community can we do?
Come get down with the Black Agenda Alliance. We
There you
have
go. There you go. I
I
love
mean,
that answer.
I
I
don't know.
love that.
I
No,
don't
I
know
love
what
the answer. I love
Come
the
to
answer.
death row. You can come to death row.
I don't have all the answers. I want to give
Right.
a huge shout out to a sister, man, that's actually a board member, Sister Erin Forte. And you guys get to meet her. She came through like an earthquake, man, and just she does so much for me and the organization and herself, and she's sped things up. You have people who come in that unselfishly come on and conduct themselves in a way in which and where we look at the overall. And I ain't never made no money. You understand what I'm saying? And it's hard, but it's an obligation. And so just you're asking me what the solutions are. You have Black Agenda Alliance. You pour into those and understand those. Don't just take our word for it. Come see what we're doing. Come see what we're getting ready to do with the land this year that we didn't spent the last couple of years cleaning up.
Man,
Because we didn't have grants and we didn't have money, so we went out there with a chainsaw and Monkey Man Tree Care. Shout out to Monkey Man Tree Care, okay? And we put our minds and our hearts together and said, man, one day this is going to be something. We didn't wait for nobody to come save us. You understand what I'm saying? So if you want to deal with the philosophy of being uniquely independent and gaining while being independent in the world full of oppression in a city that's designed to destroy us, then come on. You know what I mean? I don't, you know what I mean? Because we can beat on our chest all day, but let us show you what we've done. We'll show you we can show you better than we can tell you every weekend, every single weekend. Okay. And you'll never see our go ahead, buddy, man.
I was just no, I'm with you. I enjoy the fire, man, because
workout this morning. I ain't had one, but I'm gonna need one here in a second.
Hey, go get it in, man. Whatever you got to do to let off the steam, because I enjoy the energy, and it really is. Even from the political front, like the political tip that we're on, it's the same spirit. It's removing the excuses, removing like if there's something going on in government that you're not happy about, don't just wait for elections. Put in a petition. If we actually mad about Don Klein, there are things that you can do actively, not waiting on anybody. Like you can do something about it. You, not no nonprofits, not no savior. You, the person watching this, listening to me talk. The whole point of this is you can do something about it.
That's real. Also, I want to say, the reason why I'm not really kind of going in on the chat too much is because, like, I really want to direct this narrative to what Brother Qasim is laying down here. We can come up with our own solutions of what we think is important or what we think we need to be doing, which is kind of what's happening here a little bit later in the chat. You guys are trying to talk about some other solutions, some other things we need to be doing, and so on. We need to kind of steer this conversation in the way that Brother Qasim is leading it right now, which is there's a certain way here that we're talking about coming to some solutions, and it doesn't involve the school board right now. It doesn't involve some of these other things that also is true on the other side of things. But this is where we need to start, because this is boost to the roof effective. This is dealing with kids directly. This is dealing with people that are struggling right now, and what we can do about it face to face, personally. And that's why we need to steer that to Black Agenda Alliance doing what they're doing, man. Hopefully I'm seeing what Malcolm X Memorial Foundation is doing. This is to me is a step in the right direction with the partnership here that's happening with Black Agenda Alliance. That's going to be happening for the Kwanzaa celebration. Brother Nuri Muhammad coming to speak. Definitely coming through on December 27th. Save that date. I think you guys are taking suggested donations. Other than that, it's free to come, right? Is that right?
It's free. Donations at that event is big for us.
Yeah,
because those donations that go toward programming for BAA, programming for the BA. Huge shout out to Joanna LaFleur, Morgan Price, and them, man. Them sisters move, but we gonna do this thing, man. We gonna demonstrate the way demonstration should be. You know what I mean? And we donations at the event. Yes, sir.
Definitely come to donate. Right.
Please show up. I was actually just talking to somebody about Kwanzaa. We had the whole holiday conversation. Like, hey, I don't really celebrate Christmas, not really buying, presents for the kids. They celebrate Kwanzaa. Went in a whole conversation, and I'm appreciative of, y'all pushing this and not waiting on the likes of, the city of Omaha to do something officially to recognize, they're going to do the Christmas tree at Jocelyn or this, that, and the third. They're going to do all of that. But, these celebrations, man, Kwanzaa and doing our own thing, like really celebrating our own culture and recognizing our own culture. You see how long it took to even recognize Brother Malcolm. So shout out to the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation for putting the Bruce to the roots and pushing that and holding that that mantle. But
yeah,
please come out and support. Please come out and support. Kwanzaa is all about everything that we're talking about. The principles of Kwanzaa embodies group economics, us coming together. I say it all the time. We're all we got, but it's enough, and that's what Kwanzaa is about. And if you're about that, if that's a message that resonates with you, please come out and support. Please.
Yeah, as he had mentioned, Brother Qasim, you mentioned before, you got a couple other things coming up too, like what's going on Black Agenda Alliance and Untamed. This is also at the Assembly of the Saints. It's coming up on the 14th in a few days. So this is some gun safety class that you guys got going on. You guys got plenty of classes and things happening, and also programs for the kids as well. You guys, if you can know anything about the Black Agenda Alliance, when I hear that, my first introduction to Black Agenda Alliance was the flag football situation. Another program of yours that got young men off the street to come and engage in sports, and also I'm thinking about the survival club that you guys got going on as well, that teaches kids how to hunt, fish, do all the things that needs to be. So again, we're not putting enough emphasis on the programs and on the things that you guys are actually doing boost to the roots to help right now. That is where I want the conversation to steer. So we're going to try to do our part more with really kind of bigging up the programs that you guys got going on and any events you guys got going on. And you can kind of consider us the ministers of information when it comes to what's going on with the BAA, especially because we feel like that's where the solutions are, man, in a big way. So we talk to Chad Chimers and Ghost listeners chime in all the time and so on, but this is our show. So we gonna steer it how we need to steer it and do what we need to do. And it will be with the help of Chad Chimers and other people that, we look at all kinds of different solutions in all different areas, and we work with as many people as we work with, because that's where we chose to sit. But you already know what our loyalty is when it comes to BAA, when it comes to this community and so on and so forth. And we always gonna be behind you in a big way.
Appreciate that, man.
We gonna be there, man. I'm gonna be there at the Kwanzaa celebration for real.
Yeah, hey, Paul, check out Brother Nuri Muhammad, man. If you're not familiar, check him out.
Hear him speak.
We plan to have a leadership meeting prior to the day, leadership of what's going on that end. So we'll make sure that you guys have a seat at the table as media. And as far as I'm gonna holler at Brother Jakeem as well here shortly, but yeah, man, that's even that's selected. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna show how, inshallah, God willing, man, now and down the road, how would it look like when we come together and do. I ain't gotta come into none of y'all rooms. No begging for money, no trying to make friends with you. If I don't like you, I'm gonna tell you I don't like you. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna waste my warrior energy, man, on trying to get along with people because they have a resource. No, we're gonna go create our own.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm at work right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you got brothers and sisters sitting around here right now getting that good old nonprofit money. Do what you do. You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say what I want to say. It don't matter who here. You see what I'm saying? So this thing and this thing is, man, I turned 40 this year. Alhamdulillah.
Man, happy belated. Happy belated.
It come with tests. It
Yes,
come
sir.
with trial, error. But 40 for men, if you look at scientifically between 40, 42, 45, that's what they call the time in which our penile becomes completed, and there's certain things that I feel, even within myself, from staying away from the drugs and all the other stuff that I done. I'm not in full completion, but I'm getting there. You know what I mean?
The third eye is open already, though.
It's open, bro. It's open. It's go time. But we had already planned for this. See, like our enemies, they plan 50 to 100 years out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing as a BAA. We're not going to be on this reactive crap. No. Everybody, like y'all said, all chat timers love. Shout out to the chat timers and Anthony Rogers, everybody that support us, Sister Michelle. Man, beautiful. You know what I mean? It's just, we've learned Brother Sanchez, man, so many beautiful people here. And we thank y'all, man. We thank y'all, but we have to put our best foot forward and not be afraid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Quit tying our hands behind our backs.
Man, you can do it, y'all. You can do it.
Bro, we got another special guest waiting in the wings, so we're gonna let you go. But we really appreciate you coming through and putting the word down like we needed to hear it.
I appreciate y'all, man. It's all love here.
All love. We'll see you soon, man.
Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
Alaikum.
We brought the fire on the last day of the season.
Man, that's what we expected.
That's what we expected, man. Appreciate everybody that came in. Like I said, man, I highly encourage everybody to go back and check out all the comments in the chat. I know that you guys were in the chat really trying to help and come with some solutions according to your vantage point and what you think is important and what we need to do and tie that in. Like I said, I kind of wanted to direct that conversation a little bit in a way that made what the narrative be what Brother Qasim is saying needs to happen here, because we don't really talk about that enough on the shows. We are, us, we're going to be looking at solutions from all sides, and he's right. Some solutions are more effective than others. We can talk a lot about what goes on in the city with the school board, what goes on with the even with the legislature sometimes. And if you're looking at what's going on in the street and it's worse, then you got to kind of question, like, what's the most effective things going on here? When I think about what could be worse, I think about some of the work that the Empowerment Network is doing. Somebody mentioned Empowerment Network earlier. I think about some of the work that they're doing on certain levels. That's not the same level as what the BAA is doing. I see some help there. I see way more help when it comes to the problems of what's going on with our youth in the city that the BAA solves. But everybody has their lane, everybody has their place, and whatever the solutions are working. Some things work, some things don't work as effectively, and some things work more effectively. It's really about where we want to put our energies and where our lane is. This season is season 1B. Journalism is activism. We realized during Freedom Summer 2020 that we weren't necessarily going to be the ones that were going to be out in the picket lines, in the front lines, protesting, getting hit with the tear gas and so on. There was already brothers out there. Shout out to Peyton Zyla. Shout out to Bear Alexander. There's already brothers out there doing that work. They were sending the information back to us so that we can disseminate it here amongst people that are in our audience that are also not going to be out there on the front lines that way. So our activism has come from us journaling what's happening and us having news dissemination happen and being able to have conversation with people in the community that also are not going to be out there, but still can help, still want to figure out how to activate what needs to be activated for our city. So that's why we morphed into what it is that we morphed into here. And we got to continue to do that. It's very important to document and spread the word on what's going on here, just as much as it is for people to do what they're doing. So everybody can have their lane and everybody can feel comfortable in where they're at. Everybody can also push past your comfort level a little bit and get into some other things that make even more of an impact. So I just wanted to get that message across, that the most impactful things that if we're talking about what's going on with the kids in the community, the most impactful things is to be speaking to them face to face and having programs with them, dealing with them, and in the way that the Black Agenda Alliance has been doing for years now. And that's the deal. That's the deal. I'm looking forward to have Kimra on the school board. We also have Brianna Full on the school board as well. I'm looking forward to whatever changes can be made there in that way, and those are going to be important as well. I'm looking forward to Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney, put some respect on their names, and the new dynamic duo in the legislature, making some change and helping some things as well. I love the fact that the Empowerment Network has programs like the Step Up program that puts hundreds of kids in some work and some jobs and gives them some direction as well. I love what the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation is being able to do now that they've been getting some funds to be able to celebrate what was going on that level and partner with people like BAA to do things. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on. Shout out to Dreamland Report, Jakeem Fox, who's coming with some information as well. Shout out to Miss Cheryl Weston, who is always in conversation about these things that draws up that clarifies things enough for you to kind of come up with a plan and take some action on some things. Lots of good work that's happening out here. But I personally definitely think that we need to be supporting and bigging up the Black Agenda Alliance even more so. As far as where our dollars go, as far as where our time goes as well. We got some chat chimers that have stepped up and went over there and helped and mentored and so on and so forth. Shout out to Mayor Sanchez. Shout out to a lot of folks in the chat chimer section that has supported BAA and showing up to those events and so on. So yeah, we just need to keep plugging that, keep doing that. That's my word on it. How you feel, buddy?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Definitely all the cliches, the babies are the future. Definitely those who are working directly with the kids, pounding the pavement, boots to the roots, front lines, and on all levels. There's going to be organizations that help kids that have, been recognized as those that excel, that need resources. There's ones that's falling through the cracks, and everybody that's in between. So, yeah, big shout out to those doing the work.
Yep. I feel that, and shout out to you guys. I really appreciate you guys who have chimed up in the chat as well to really kind of like show support and also talk about some solutions. So it's all love. We appreciate it, and we're going to continue to have this conversation. We got to continue on this one. Like I was shocked when he got on here and said it's worse than what the media is portraying. It's worse. That shocked me. I was definitely under this impression that the media was doing a little much on trying to act like we got so many things happening. They're painting the picture. They're doing the news.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling the story, but there's always a slant. There's always that we have so many more problems here than anybody thinks of, anybody knows. It's kind of always their story, and it never feels like that to us in our community until you speak to somebody like Brother Qasim that says, "Nah, it's that and worse." So urgency, man, urgency to be in here and doing something about it, first of all, and then kind of reporting what's actually going on, second of all, for us.
Yeah, that's the big thing is, really talking about having honest conversations about what's actually going on. And then, from there, explore all the options, not just the options that are being presented to us, i.e. locking up 12-year-olds and 9-year-olds. So
big time. We'll take a quick break and come right back. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. Hall B, Buddy the God. Man, a little bit more of that Ugly Kid track. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
In my mind, I'm smiling. The laughing man keeps me. Dream of mine that we survive, but we gotta leave behind. Getting dirty in the slime. Clean up time for peace of mind. Get a slice of pizza pie. Everybody is surprised. All these motherfuckers, I'm a flood, bucking bugs. Daffy mad, getting blasted for fun. Goofy chuck and yuck for white buck. And I don't give a solitary when they rug pull. We swirl in a whirlwind endless. Think of the party that you attended most recent. Network with the Same time, another native girl went missing. Begins a drift, and then adrift we go. I laugh, thinking of a funny anecdote. Back in '94, first circle of my life, and Tupac shot the first time. Wow.
Prosecutors released video. The police response is reporting an episode that
Omaha Mayor Gene Southard sent out a statement about Omaha's second night in protest. It is time to stop genocidal violence. And necessary steps to protect.
I don't want to debate the worth of my son's life.
All I know is dying.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God. All of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, not radio listeners anymore. I keep saying radio listeners. Although, I'm not going to go there yet. Yeah, man. Shout out to Augie Kid, Stacey Jean in the chat. All right, now, Augie Kid, Auntie is proud of you. That's what's up, man. Appreciate that. Shout out to Augie Kid for doing what Augie Kid does. We are well into the second hour now of First Sky Omaha in the morning. It might be a show that goes longer than the two. Where's RG3 at? Begging for the third hour.
Like Dynamite in here somewhere.
In there somewhere. Appreciate everybody that's joining us. We do have a special guest waiting in the wings, so we will go ahead without further ado. Buddy, would you like to do the honors?
Yeah. Kind of continuing really what we were talking about, as far as organizations helping with the babies and pushing a great cause. And this is something we've been talking about here on the show and finally learning some more information about it. So definitely looking forward. Please welcome Shandy Jones to the chat.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. For those who don't know, Shandy is here representing the James Scurlock Sports Academy. Again, we've been talking about it here on the show. One of the chat chimers kind of tipped us off to you all and the work that you're doing. And it was like, man, we would definitely love to honor Brother James and, familiar with the whole story and everything. So, hearing about the organization had to bring you on. So, first of all, thank you for joining us this morning.
Uh-oh. We got a little internet stick going on. Try to restart.
Yeah, if you can hear us, restart. Try to restart your tab, and if you have any other tabs open.
Yep. Okay, so try to restart. If you can hear us, then we need you to restart. You're kind of stuck on screen right now, so I appreciate you coming through here. Sorry, the tech does that sometime. Yeah. We'll check back in with you in a second. But in the meantime, between time, you want to talk just a little bit about
Yeah, for those who don't know, you can check them out, jssa-sports.org. We'll drop that into the chat. But apparently, again, this is an organization that was actually founded by the sisters of Brother James Scurlock. I see Sister Vicky Young in the chat giving them some big ups. Says, good morning, JSSA all the way. And you see the link in the chat. So definitely check that out. The website reads, welcome to JSSA, where we're committed to upholding James's vision of supporting youth athletics. Our unwavering mission is to help youth strive for excellence in academics, athletics, and community involvement. Brother James firmly believed that everyone should have the opportunity to compete at a higher level, regardless of financial barriers. At JSSA, our board of directors is dedicated to going above and beyond to fulfill James's vision for equal opportunities in youth sports. Established, of course, in 2020 in Omaha, JSSA was born out of a genuine desire to inspire youth, support the community, and turn aspirations into actions. As an organization, we're propelled to progressive ideas, bold actions, and a strong foundation of support. And this is something that we've actually been talking about, a little bit here on. I know you're not big on the sports, but through our conversations, kind of seeing the important role that sports can play in our youth and the development of our youth in the community, especially communities, riddled with poverty, violence, and some of the other challenges that we see in our communities.
So I definitely want to clarify when I've never been really a big sports dude. As far as the big, the big, what I want to say, professional sports world that is all about the money and the players and so on and so forth. The entertainment side of the situation. I've always saw the importance of having sports programs for kids, because we need to learn that kind of teamwork. We need to learn that kind of discipline. We need to I've been involved with some of the sports organizations that growing up as a kid, doing certain things. So I can definitely see that there is an advantage, especially like what we just got done talking about with Brother Qasim. You know, one of the cornerstones of the BAA has been the flag football situation, with having young men be able to come out here and run on the field, learn some discipline, learn how to work, and so on and so forth. Hugely important, and I'm really kind of was very excited when I heard about this James Skurlock Sports Academy that has been created. I think it's awesome. Shandy Jones is back in the chat. We'll see if the tech is teching right this time around. I appreciate you with your patience trying to make it happen with us.
No problem. No problem. I think it's the Wi-Fi on my end.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. A CenturyLink Cox cable. They're always we always battling against them on some stuff. So we appreciate you coming back. I haven't got a chance to meet you yet, so just wanted to say hi and nice to meet you. And I appreciate you taking the time to come. What made you guys decide that this is the efforts that you wanted to put as far as honoring Brother Skurlock?
So ever since we were like kids, he was always a really big supporter of our athletics.
Oh man. Okay. Internet really interneting this time around. Shandy, if you can hear us, you're stuck again. I highly encourage if you can I don't know where you're at in your house, but if you can move a little closer to where your modem is, that might help. If you can hear us,
or if you do it from your phone.
Yeah, I think she is doing it from her phone, but again, the Wi-Fi, if Wi-Fi is going through walls and stuff like that, that kind of can mess things up sometimes. So, yeah, if you can hear us, try to restart again, and then if you can move a little closer to where your modem is, so the Wi-Fi doesn't have so far to reach your phone, that might help. So sorry that we're going through this right now, and that hope that you can hope that you try to come back for us. All right, man. Yeah, tech be teching. That's what it is. So I appreciate everybody who's being patient with us today. Would love to hear from her. I want to keep trying because I really want to hear from her about this program.
The story got to be told.
Story definitely got to be told. So Black Dynamite says 3 hours. You say we might. We're in the last. This is the last episode of season 1B. We go on break and we come back on January 15th. So as you know, we do this every year. We take this break so that we can kind of get through the new year and get some things started for the next season and so on. So we'll definitely might go a little longer today just so we can kind of get in all the conversations and everything that we really are talking about. So appreciate that very much. Heather Williams in the chat says these two young ladies have put a lot of work in JSSA. I'm very proud of them.
Man.
So we already got Chad Chambers kind of co-signing on this program. I love it. That's what's up. Tony Johnson in the chat says, remember Black Panther breakfast program? I do often. He says, while the babies were eating, the parents were organizing, were meeting and addressing issues. Talking about some things from the past as far as some of that stuff is concerned. I'm right with you on that, brother Tony Johnson, because I really feel like when I think about like what progress can be made all the way around, I think about Black Panther Party and a lot of stuff they did. The breakfast programs they had a whole lot of programs that they had, and it was all under the premise of like we're just gonna help ourselves on some of these things. They even had some sports programs like the JSSA. I'm about that today. It's kind of like the theme is like what we're doing for us. We're providing our own information, our own programs, our own sports programs. Everything that's there is that we've been talking about today is us taking care of us, our community taking care of our community. Like Buddy says, we're all we got, but that's enough. Yep, appreciate that. Right on, Gwen Easter. I do think that if she gets stuck again, we'll definitely try to have her call in. It might be a better way. Well, she won't be able to call in, but she can come in without the screen anyway. We'll try that. If not, man, we might have to do something even over the break because I really want to make sure that we get the message that this exists. Yeah, we only got so many youth sports programs around, and so shout out to them for doing that, and shout out to BAA for doing theirs. And other than that, pace, I guess, if you want to.
Yeah, well, I like what JSA is doing as far as some of the sports they're involved in. Of course, you got your typical baseball, basketball, football, but volleyball, as you know, is huge in Nebraska. And they have volleyball, swimming, and also safe sport. i.e., boxing and things like that. So
Mm.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely want to look more and learn more about what JSSA is doing, and hopefully, through the tech issues, we can have that conversation.
With that. While we're waiting on her to come back, maybe we can jump into something else that's going on here. I was just thinking about something else that I really wanted to make sure that we talked about before we got out of here
Yeah.
today. Hmm.
Yeah, I got
Go ahead.
some things, some ways we can go with this. I actually wanted to go back to acknowledge what Brother Tony Johnson was saying, kind of along the lines of the Black Panther comment and conversation that you were mentioning, as far as again doing for ourselves. And I definitely want to hear from the people on some developments that's coming to 24th, to kind of along those lines. Maybe Tony Johnson is saying some of you may be too young, but during the height of the Black Panther movement, most of the buildings in North Omaha were open daily. And North Omaha were open daily with activities and services taking place. Others, they're strategizing in the conversation we are seeing now taking place monthly and quarterly were taking place daily back then. And one thing that's kind of hitting home for me is the fact that he's talking about some of the buildings. Where are the places we can congregate, especially in North Omaha? A lot of vacant lots, a lot of dilapidated buildings. Where are the third places? As I've kind of come to learn, where between work and home, where we can congregate as a community, to kind of have these conversations and figure out what's going on. And apparently, it's been reported that there are some developments coming to North 24th Street. Actually, 6 projects being reported by KETV, and one including a visitor center by next year. And this is coming from OEDC, which I know we've had a lot of conversations. Some people out there have some feelings about. So yeah, definitely love to hear your take on story on this conversation. But again, a visitor center is one of several projects coming to North 24th Street, as reported by KETV. And of course, the OEDC is behind it, as OEDC owns most of the buildings along 24th Street. The OED's building is actually one of the development projects. According to the article, the building will undergo some refurbishing, like new windows that has already actually gone up, and the project is expected to be done by the summer of 2025, where North Omaha will be ready to, of course, kick off Native Omaha Days, and community leaders like Brenda Council hope to see it thrive on the North 24th Street corridor. Saying, a friend of mine produced and released a film called Street of Dreams about North Omaha and North 24th Street in particular, and our vision is to restore that Street of Dreams, said Council Vice President of the OEDC Board of Directors. She also believes that now will happen thanks to the projects OEDC announced. Again, not just a visitor center, but 3 vacant buildings along 24th Street will be transformed to bring shopping, dining, and other attractions. One of those buildings, of course, will also center, which is intended to boost, tourism to the North 24th Street, tourism to the Deuce. Of course, OEDC President Mike Maroney said funds from the North and South Omaha Recovery Grant, i.e., the DED funds, are supporting the development projects. Saying we are recipients of a $2 million grant to have an impact on some buildings that we own. So, Paul, I know you have some thoughts, been in some conversation. Your family has some legacy about some of the buildings dotting and going along 24th Street. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, they mentioned that documentary Street of Dreams. I highly encourage you to go check that out. You can find it on YouTube. My great grandfather is speaking in that video, Paul B. Allen the First, Senior. So shout out to that. That's been kind of a legendary documentary that I kind of been trying to live up to myself. Like, if I do one, it's
Yeah.
got to be on the level of the Street of Dreams. But they've been talking about this for a long time, and I appreciate that. When I first got into town, people were saying, "Hey, you need to come back and revitalize the showcase." And I went and had a conversation with Brother Maroney on that. He gave me some of the ideas on what they were trying to do there, the plan that they had there, what some of the resources were. Wasn't really he wasn't really interested in selling the building or any of those things. He was talking about other ways we can work together on that, because I really believe that they're trying to just kind of keep ownership on a lot of those things. So just on some of these
Yeah.
things, if you're around the Deuce or you know anything about it, you know that that's the old Jesse's place there in the middle, and you know what I'm saying. Like, these are some buildings that
Mhm.
have been sitting here. Also, Drips. I remember Drips Coffee was in the one on the left, along with what Michelle Trostler was doing in that building as well. This is
Yeah.
like right across the street from the container building the Fair Deal Village.
Mhm.
So yeah, so this was what I was when I heard at first. I saw 6 new developments. I thought, okay, great, but these are buildings that they've owned already. Interesting that they're getting the money to revitalize these buildings in order to do what exactly. So I think some of the things they're talking about doing is renting them out to people who are doing some more of these the visitor center and some of these things. OEEDC is they're a development company, so they're not about starting businesses in any of these buildings. So they'll definitely have to be working with other people. So they're getting them revamped and revitalized in order to have other people come and rent them out and do some things in them in time for Native Omaha Days. So yeah, it's still I can still see people having a little bit of a problem there. Wanda Lewis is saying way overdue though. We tired of looking at the dilapidated buildings there too, or the empty buildings and so on. Brother Anthony Rogers Wright is saying those buildings and empty lots are either being held by the city or the land bank to wait for a developer to build apartments that are too expensive for our people to rent. I don't know. You might get some misinformation there on that. We know that OEDC, uh, Omaha Economic Development Company, are the owners of those buildings. So, and there's a lot of buildings that they own that sit there for a long time empty, buildings and lots. So, and there's even more than we even know. We're just talking about the ones on the Deuce, talking about the ones on 24th. So
Mhm.
it's interesting to me that they're getting money to revitalize the buildings that they own, and they're talking about some of the things that's going to happen inside those buildings, and they will be whatever's happening inside those buildings will not be OEDC doing them because they don't do that.
No.
They're just a development company. So is this kind of the same situation? We all know about situations that happen like with drips and the spot that Michelle Trosclair was renting. Marcy Yates was over across the street at the First Culture House.
First
He ended
culture.
up moving to
Yep.
ended up moving to another building because of that. We just had a friend of First Sky Omaha, son child who had a dress shop over there in the Fair Deal Village. That I believe she shut down as well. So there's kind of a sliding scale of it costs this much money to get in some of the buildings that they own, and then rent raises over time, and then it gets to the point where some people can't really afford that and have to move. We've heard about all these things that's happened with some of these properties that OEDC is involved with, and so is this going to be the same situation or different?
Yeah.
Love to know.
Yeah. And on top of that, as far as the conversation of OEDC and possibly other entities sitting on properties, it's not really being reported, but there are some whispers and some conversation about some legislation that Senator Terrell McKinney passed that is again forcing this. Is it really OEDC wanting to develop the community and wanting to um, you know bring business, or is it some other things happening? So.
Well, I can kind of speak to that. Even conversations with Brother Maroney, who
Mhm.
is the owner of Omaha Economic Development Corporation (OEDC). Wants to make. I mean, he wants to make sure that things stay black owned in North Omaha, and his solution is to own them through the company. So,
Mhm.
so there, I feel like there's always going to be he owns some, he buys new ones, he goes into partnerships with things like they did with the Union for Contemporary Art. He sits on some that they have been owning for a while, and then some of them they build new, like the Fair Deal Village, and some they
Mhm.
revamp, like they're doing with these next 6 revitalizations, and have a whole new set of businesses that come through there. So they're all they're I know that is one of the major reasons why they move like they move, because they feel like they're battling a little bit sometimes, some of these other entities from outside of North Omaha that want to come in and buy at North Omaha. So that's one of them. How they go about doing them is sometimes what the problem that a lot of people have with them about how they're going about doing any of those things. What that means for people in North Omaha, what it means for people trying to build business and work with them, and so on. So, not really sure how this is going to pan out, but those were my thoughts. I just kind of like saw those pictures and I was like, okay, yeah, these That's yeah. They've had these buildings here, so
Mm-hmm.
this is new money to revitalize the buildings they own,
Yep.
which you can kind of stop right there and almost be like, that sounds funny. And knowing that they're not, in the business of starting businesses in there. They obviously
It's
are
just
working with
infrastructure.
people, right? Just infrastructure. So Tony Johnson says, I hope it's not the same group of people put in charge. Whoever is picked for the day-to-day operations need to be one with achievements and not the same ones who failed work. Yep, a lot of people were a little concerned about that for sure. Wanda Lewis is saying one of those buildings will be a visitor center. Who's going to head up that? Who's heading up the visitor center?
That's a good question. But I do kind of like the idea of the visitor center, and the
For
idea
the
is
Deuce,
huh?
like for the
I'm sorry, what'd you
Deuce,
say?
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a visitor center right there on the Deuce. Um, yeah, in this article, out of WLWT, one of the main ideas is quoted saying is to increase tourism in North Omaha. This is from Brother Love, apparently. And Brother Preston Love Jr. says it will involve a lot of networking with groups when they come in and from out of town, trying to bring in national black-based organizations like National Black Nurses Association, the Divine Nine, which is basically the sororities and fraternities, your Omega Psi Phis and Kappas out there of the world. Also, the black golfers and black surgeons, and on and on. Brother Love goes on to say there are hundreds of black organizations that have conferences every year, regional, national, and we're going to be knocking on their door to get them to come to Omaha, to come to North Omaha. That's what the visitor center will do, and I'm all for it. I kind of like that idea. I'm a little weary about the infrastructure as far as hotels and other things like that, transportation, other things like that. But it is worth a goal worth accomplishing, a goal worth pursuing. And the idea of a visitor center, I'm all for. Who will be heading it up? Great question, though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Wanda Lewis is saying Maroney manages those properties. He receives a yearly salary. So yeah, they manage those properties, and yeah, it's like I said, that's the question for me. Remember, there's going to be a big development over there. Carmen Tapio's company coming in on 24th and Lake,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
already all fenced off over there. They're already starting to tear stuff down, and there's going to be big construction over there. That's going to be mixed use as well. So the company downstairs, I think it's going to be lofts upstairs. So the inevitability of that is of the area being developed is happening. Mike Maroney and OEDC is always going to be a part of that because they own a lot of what's going on over there. And for several different reasons, man, you can hear it. I've heard both sides of the argument. There's other brothers like Brother Elijah and other people that are always saying, listen, only reason why we North Omaha is still black owned is because of the efforts of OEDC. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. There's other developers and other people coming in doing some things. We got Blair Freeman, who was the contractor, who was the main contractor for a lot of the revitalization that's happening there too. Black owned, woman owned construction company. So there's some things to definitely keep in mind, look out to. I always come back to that question: what does this mean for North Omaha, especially the
Right.
Deuce? I gotta ask personally, what does this mean for the Showcase building, because it's a historical building too, and there's always plans surrounding what's going on there, but I never hear what's actually going to happen in that particular building. I know that OEDC owns that one too. So there's definitely some things to find out about. And then of course we had Senator Terrell McKinney on that's talking about his dealings with them when it comes to the Inland Port Authority and their contract there, and how he's not really happy about their level of communication with the public. So
Mm-hmm.
is it gonna be more of that? Is that something any of our organizations can even offer to help with communication with the public? Just maybe that's not in their bag to be able to do, exactly well enough for people to be satisfied. Can some of these organizations help with that? These are all questions that I'm kind of putting out there on that.
Yep. That's pretty much it on that.
That's all you got on that, huh?
Yeah. Just really putting it out there. This is because as you mentioned, both sides of the argument is out there as far as having black owned businesses and really, property manager, not just businesses, but owning the building, owning the land. That is important to have in our community. But at the same time, what has Moroni done with some of these buildings? And it is nice to finally see something being done, but at the same time, he doesn't have the best track record of keeping businesses in his buildings. As far as what we mentioned, the
Yeah.
drips situation and prices going up. I believe Bill King, old
Yeah.
95.7 The Ball Studio was a Maroney building, and that didn't quite pan out. So there are some question marks with some of those things. But yeah, we will see.
Like Black Dynamite says, it'd be nice to see some black-owned businesses that offer things that we don't already have a million of in the city.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
always we also talk about that.
Somebody mentioned essential products, in the last episode.
Hmm. Yeah, we talk about that a lot. Black-owned business means one or two things sometimes, but we can have much more diversity in business if we had more of an ability to have some brick and mortar spots to do some things. We also think
Yeah,
about Omaha Native Omaha Days that happens every 2 years, and how that street fills up, and a lot of businesses being done, and then there's a bunch of food to eat out there every year, all that time. You know what I'm saying? And we're just like, why can't this just happen all the time? Why can't we come to the Deuce and come eat like this all the time? So we always think about some opportunities there. Maybe some of these developments will help some of that moving in that direction. So yeah, appreciate everybody's comments there on that. And yeah, we'll continue to talk about it. I think that the big thing for me is that because of the fact that um, because there's a lot, we don't talk about all the development that's happening down there. There's still a lot of stuff that's going on. There was a couple businesses that I noticed that happened right there, like next to Stable Gray and Nona and all those
hmm
areas. That
hmm
there's kind of a workspace that's in there, a gathering spot that's in there. Some places that didn't get a whole lot of publicity that are up and running in
Fabric
that.
Lab is down there.
Which one?
Fabric Lab.
Yeah, Fabric Lab. So those were the ones that were there. So they got some brand new ones that I've seen pop
Mm,
up in this last month.
okay.
Some gathering, like a gathering spot, a kind of remote office spot. They've kind of filled that whole block up all the way down to Styles of Evolution with some other businesses that didn't get a whole lot of publicity in our world anyway, on our planet. So there's some more things to talk about as far as any of those things are concerned as well.
Yeah.
For sure. So, what's going to happen? The Deuce really is kind of our historical area.
Yeah, man.
Visitor center is completely appropriate for that. There's a lot of buildings down there that are on the historic record, so you can't even really do much to change them because there's such history there. So it'll be interesting. Um, oh man, I'm sorry to hear this. So Jackson's Takeout has plans to move out after the first of the year. So
Man, sorry to hear that.
how many times have the Fair Deal, when the Fair Deal Cafe came back?
It's a high turnover.
It's a high turnover. It's what, third, fourth restaurant. So
Yeah.
these are some questions.
Yeah, which is kind of why we gotta celebrate the likes of Idol Vital, who just expanded to they're growing. So definitely go and support. Make sure we keep that going. Also, I see Sister Wanda Lewis giving a shout out to her daughter Serinda and her shop down there on the Deuce. Says my daughter will be happy to bring renovations and development to the area. She has a ladies' dress boutique on 24th. We welcome growth to the area, waiting for a long time. So
That's what's
big
up.
time, big time.
There you go. Appreciate that. It is 8:53 right now. If you
Yeah.
believe in the concept of time, yeah, we already coming up on that 9 o'clock hour. Just wanted to kind of take a quick break here. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to get our guest back, but we might have to do something special with her over the break. We really want to kind of
Yeah.
hear about what's going on with the sports situation there. So most definitely, man, we'll definitely do that. I just want to jump out a little bit and kind of regroup, just to let people know, if you've hung with us this long on our final show of the season, I appreciate you. Appreciate the comments and the questions and everybody that's come through and hung with us. We wanted to recap a little bit about what went down, like we kind of have all throughout the show, just talking about journalism as activism. This whole idea that we need to be making sure that we control the narrative when it comes to stories and things that happens in our community. And I wanted to give a shout out to one of the latest groups that are doing that, which is Dreamland Report. Definitely get down with Dreamland Report. There's some good articles there that are coming up, and more stuff coming up. And also not even just articles, but they also are getting together and doing some things online. So you can hit them on the YouTube channel and see the shows that they're putting out there. There's some roundtables and some heated discussions on there. If you missed those episodes, I highly encourage you to do that. Oh, I put the wrong thing in. Sorry about that. So Dreamland, here's the Dreamland link tree. Definitely want you to hit that link tree and check out some of the stuff that's going on there. But yes, put some information together here and really kind of deep dive, and especially into Black Omaha and specifically is what Dreamland report is here all about. So definitely check them out and see what they have to offer. And if you have news stories and things like that, you can always hit us up at firstsky@gmail.com. But also you can hit up people like Dreamland Report and people that are doing that kind of work as well. Next season, we're definitely going to have more, working more with Chris Baby Boy Bowling on some stuff that we got
Baby
going on.
boy.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we got some definite stuff that's coming up. Of course, content creator camp. We haven't talked much about that yet, but that's happening, coming up very soon. Matter of fact, we're partnering with the 180 rap program over there at Metro because we're actually going to do some classes with some people, some formerly incarcerated and currently incarcerated brothers and sisters that are looking to transition, looking to re-enter the society with some skills and with some ideas. And I got to tell you, I've talked to some of these people personally. They become experts on their own cases and what's going on inside. If we think about what we're trying to do as far as have a voice for the Black community here, we can't leave a whole swath of part of that community is incarcerated or formerly incarcerated, and there's a whole, there's a lot to talk about there. So so we're looking forward to putting some citizen journalism kind of classes together for them as well, and also a new content creator camp for everybody else that's coming up next season. Also, I want to speak on the benevolent illusion.
Man,
We got 7. We're working on a series of 7 shows that talk about the realities of philanthropy. We're in a nonprofit town, and we got some people who are really wanting, Katie White's in particular, really wanting to kind of talk about these things. Me and her will host and talk to a lot of people in the city about what's really behind philanthropy, what's really behind these nonprofit dollars, what's going on with the families that give these away, the companies that give the money away, and the nonprofit organizations that take the money, what they're doing with it and why, and what the whole mechanism is. We're going to be looking under the hood, with this benevolent illusion show coming up. So again, we highly encourage you to be checking us out on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell. There's going to be some stuff dropping that's not on schedule. So we hope that you get that information and jump in.
There you go.
Yep. Gwen Easter in the chat is saying, I hear it's expensive to rent the building that Jackson's restaurant rents and not enough clientele support in the area.
Man,
unfortunately, that's a reality of doing any business in North Omaha, particularly on the Deuce. Deuce gets a little bit better business than a lot of the places in North Omaha, but that's kind of the problem. I remember when I was considering doing something myself when I first moved into town. I had to kind of look at the demographics and look at the numbers in the area and kind of concluded that myself. Like I'd be out of business in a year if I tried to start up in a particular area. So it's tough. It's tough. And I feel like one of the catalysts behind what we're doing here too is to control the narrative on that. A lot of people in the rest of Omaha are scared to come to North Omaha because they watch the news and hear that there ain't nothing but killing going on or whatever over here, and don't come frequent these businesses, which is what you need. North Omaha is kind of too small to support stuff. Sometimes you need people from other areas of the city to come and frequent your business in order for you to be able to make it. Otherwise, you go the way of a lot of these companies that start up and can't make it.
Man.
So, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Marianne Williams, I was talking to Gwen Easter, saying the community support for these businesses is essential because it doesn't matter how low the rent is if people aren't buying the goods and services. Restaurants across the board have a high failure rate, and if people don't want what's being sold, there's no saving that. True.
Man, Brother Skilo Slim, another restaurant owner that actually recently shut down on the north side, saying we have to decide if North Omaha is still our base. Most people don't live north anymore. And that's kind of going along with Brother Michael Watts has been saying, it's a cultural shift. He said people need to be mindful of the culture shift in North Omaha. If desire is a Black economy, it needs to be approached than these projects taking place. I think I know kind of exactly what you're saying. Also, he says North Omaha is now black owned. Part of it is since the data shows North Omaha is no longer synonymous with black Omaha, and this is something that we've been speaking to and trying to fight, but maybe the reality is becoming that the gentrification process has already begun. The gentrification process is already well underway. Is it too late?
Yeah.
Is it too late? I often think about, I had a vision and thinking about, North Omaha and the North Omaha Day Parade and the Native Omaha days. What does that look like if it's down on the deuce and is not surrounded by a community that is of that culture, of that history, supporting that?
I think it's interesting. Brother Skilo Slim came on because he was over there on 30th with Best Burger.
Yep.
They haven't really they are shut down. I remember they put the post out of the last burger.
Mhm.
That little sad burger. I was so sad to see that little. This is the last
Yeah.
burger in this spot. But they did that with the caveat that they will be back. And I'm just wondering, like, maybe when they come back, I'm gonna ask, brother. I'm gonna try to have you on and get that story. I want to know, was it too expensive in the space? Did you have to? Are you moving somewhere where you get more traffic? Is there, like you saying, a lot of Black Omaha ain't in those areas anymore. It's all kind of all over. I know Idle Vital had to move out past North Omaha in order to start her second store. So that is the question. Where do you go? Where does Black Omaha go to do business? Is the Deuce going to be just relegated to a historical area? With visitor centers and nonprofit organizations and so on. Is it ever going to be a thriving economic base again there? How do we get around this? And those are questions that we'll be saving for next season. 901 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're still kind of keeping it loose because you guys got a lot to say today. And this is the last show of our season. Just want to let everybody know this is the last show of season 1B. Journalism is activism. If we should really be kind of contemplating those things too. One of the first steps in really kind of activating our community is to be able to journal these things, keep an eye on things, check the powers that be. Have information disseminated amongst us all and tell our own stories and kind of be out here doing the good work. So that's what this season was about, season 1B. And that's that's what it's all about. We got to figure these things out, and we start by getting the information to get to the solutions. So everybody, I feel like everybody who's been a part of what's going on with the in the chat chimers, you guys are part of that. You guys are part of like disseminating this information, coming up with information, doing the research, submitting things in order for us to kind of understand where we stand on things so we can get to some action. It's really what it's all about. So I appreciate everybody who's stuck with us. Buddy, what you over there? You in deep thought?
Yeah, I am. I got two thoughts in my mind. One, we definitely, we still sticking around, y'all. We definitely got to get into what's going on with this OHA situation. So I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. A lot of movement with that. They're back in the headlines for the same old. But this is quite a thought that I'm a marinate on it, and I want to lean more into it next season as far as North Omaha. It's a big part of what this is. First Sky Omaha, a big part of the hope is to keep North Omaha's integrity intact as far as what it is and what it means, what it has represented, at least for me and the people that I've grown up around, as far as being a black center and being a beacon for our community, as far as our history in the Omaha area, the birth site of Malcolm X, the the landmark of Sister Vivian Strong, the Island Showcase, and the history that like my uncle used to play an Island Showcase. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a history there that is seemingly like it's being lost and has already been lost, and we've been trying to fight for that through our conversations. But that's a real thing. Kobe Black Dynamite in the chat saying Suggs is killing the game, and it's in Old Town Bellevue. Like, has the gentrification of North Omaha already been complete, or is it too far gone? How can we keep our community, or is that a old conversation?
This came up for me, year and a half ago, when we were doing the show, and just we kept on saying, for the North Side. Matter of fact, when we started Mind and Soul, the tagline was Omaha news with a North Side perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned to East Side because we were trying to make sure that we included, Black folks and everybody else who's down for the cause on both sides. But then a year and a half ago, it kind of got to this point where we were saying, hey, you know what? Black folks is everywhere in Omaha. Is this for the Black community? If we talk about the Black community, then we're not talking geographic anymore. It's hard to let go. We got people like Kimra Snipes who are advocates for the neighborhood associations, neighborhood alliances. That is geographic. We talk about what goes on in the Deuce all the time. Our historic places, like you're saying, these places are geographic. Like Skilo Slim is asking, can we say that's the base anymore for us? We also got people like Untamed Sherman Wells, who I just see in the chat right now, who BAA, other people who are teaming up with a lot of the Sudanese population that's out here, the refugee community that's now in North and South Omaha, and teaming up there, and teaming up with a lot of folks that are here, man. A lot of Hispanic folks in North Omaha now, a lot of Asian people in North Omaha that we are trying to find some solidarity with. Is it about what is considered our community now? What's considered our community is kind of the question I'm looking at. I see a whole bunch of heavy hitters coming on into the chat right now after the 9 o'clock hour. I guess you heard we might go 3 today.
Word got out, huh? Word got out.
Word got out.
Yeah.
RG3 suspiciously not here. RG is not here. I haven't seen RG quite yet. He might be on the phone calling everybody. They're gonna go 3 hours today.
Yeah, Black Dynamite kind of taking the lead. Says, "Welcome back in my Paul B voice to the third hour of First Guy Omaha." Yeah, we hanging out, y'all. We hanging out.
Last day of the season, bro. We keeping it loose.
Yeah. I see Brother Sherman Wells checking in. He says these people is purposely diverting Black spending power from 24th Street. They want our dollars spent outside of our community. There is a reason why we are the only community that don't have a business district. It's a broken record, and it's not just that, man. It's you got to think of the political power as well. If we're not having concentrated communities with a concentrated similar mentality background, then what does that mean for our voting power? Like it's all of it. It's all of it. Economics, voting, education, all of it. We need each other. We need to live around each other. We need to be with each other. Like, I'm a firm believer that segregation did more harm, or integration did more harm than it did good for us, as far as so-called Black African Americans in this nation of America. If you look around, we're the only community that's not together. And it seems like everything is going towards making sure that continues.
Everybody talks about all the old heads back in the day, talk about how thriving the Deuce was, how North Omaha was thriving and businesses were thriving. I got right in my family. My great grandfather, had plenty of businesses that were thriving in North Omaha because North Omaha cats lived in North Omaha and they frequented those things. So you might be right on that. Also, I'm thinking about what Anthony Rogers Wright is saying as well. Like, because the economic situation is so bad sometimes in our community, we don't have money to frequent these places, even if they existed. And I was thinking about some of the things he was talking about too right here. He says Harlem no longer majority Black, Bed-Stuy no longer majority Black, Inglewood no longer majority Black. I'm thinking about New York. Brooklyn is not majority Black anymore. What are we learning and what are we applying to transform the trend?
Man, I'm thinking of DC. We talked about Howard, having people, walking their dogs and pooping on the grass at Howard and that becoming a problem.
Man, Mike Lee, another heavy hitter in the chat, is saying we all have a role to play and should support our community, especially the orgs and individuals who do it unapologetically. Most definitely. I really hope that we can get to some economic progress, though, because I personally am getting fatigued on how many programs that we always have to have, how many things that we got to have in our community in order to get people up to just survival level. I've been really anxious to get back to Great Gramps in the Allen Showcase situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, when business in the area could thrive. I was seeing Pops in the chat says, Paul, your great grandfather saw the handwriting on the wall in the 70s. He said that the area and economy would make businesses like Allen Showcase unable to continue in business. Great Gramps sold the Allen Showcase in 1985. I believe Brenda Council was the first owner after him. And my grandfather had already left Omaha and went out to California, where I was born. Have things gotten better? Don't know. Also, Gruen Easter is saying we must remember that the Highlander put time limits on how long businesses could be open on their property. Didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You think about like the greenhouse. You know, how long is that? Is that a time limited thing?
Yeah. Wanda Lewis saying too far gone. Also, Marlon Harrison in the chat says North Omaha, in my opinion, is having an identity crisis.
Yeah.
On one end, you have the black community, and on the other side, you have immigrants moving in and wanting to make their presence known. Very true. Somebody in the school situation, we got a lot of Vikings in the house around here, and to me, I think of that. I think about when y'all say V's up, I be thinking, that's the young black folks that went to North High that got that pride, and that's a whole community within itself as well. I don't really think of like other communities when I think of Vikings in North and Omaha North. You know what I'm saying? Like I think of y'all. I think of who's holding down the North Side. I think of young black kids in the big way. Brother Man Haynes. You know what I'm saying? I think about where is the community at? Anthony Rogers Rice says black incomes, home ownership, and health have all dropped since the signing of the Civil Rights Act. Your point, buddy. Also, DC, buddy, he says, oh my God, they've changed the name of the neighborhood around Howard to Shaw. Heartbreaking. That's rough. Tony Johnson is definitely thriving. My plumber was black. My mechanic was black. Only had to engage with white people when I went to work. Talking about back in the day. Definitely been hearing this from everybody who's living around them times, how thriving North Omaha, every building was a business, and you didn't have to go outside North Omaha to do anything. Cleaners, doctors, dentists, A&A record, record store that my great grandfather owned, the Showcase, places to eat up and down the street. Dreamland Ballroom, which had legendary shows and things like that that's happened over the years, and it's the reason why Jaquin is given honor to the Deuce by naming Dreamland Report after that. Lots there. Ariel's 402 says that was the height of the packing house industry, Pig Palace days. He says. Also talking about that, they were talking about economics, big business in North and South Omaha, where why families gathered in those areas as well. Not to mention, we can't forget about the redlining that happened there. They really kind of made everybody stay in them areas. And it was funny when black folks get together in the area they have to stay, they come up with a lot of stuff. They end up thriving. Sherman Wells says there was a fight for our family to get Vivian's historical marker even put up with resistance from the mayor. The oppression of North Omaha is a business. Why? Because they make money from our poverty data. This is what Brother Qasim was saying earlier. Federal dollars to pay salaries. The fight continues.
Yep.
Yeah. Gwen Easter says, I started warning North Omaha community about the gentrification, housing, businesses, education monopoly over a decade ago, but people wasn't listening. And then people was focused on Donald Trump running while these rich organizations were partners with black gatekeepers and started buying up, but people wasn't listening. And now the problems. Yeah, it's a tough message to get across to people who, especially when you get a little money and you want to kind of get out of a bad situation. Sometimes there's a lot of people moving out on their own, not just getting moved out or bust out or whatever. A lot of folks are looking at the black community like it's the black community and have moved out on their own, and are again living all over the area. What is the community? That is the question. What is the community now? Wanda Lewis says they have more clubs than Blackstone and Benson, talking about North Omaha back in the day. Also, the riots of the 60s and 70s, Marlon Harrison is saying changed North Omaha. I really wish the community would have come back stronger after the riots. I think, yeah, I mean, that's kind of typical for, that's kind of happens in every black community in the country. That's a story that happens all the time. You see something happen in the 60s, something bad happened in the 60s, and a bunch of buildings have stood there jacked up for decades until gentrification happens. So yeah, these are a lot of the things that, we're talking a lot about some of the overall issues, some of the whole reasons why we are doing what we do, is because we see some of these things, and they're all connected.
Oh
They're
yeah.
all connected.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's no coincidence. We talk about the riots in the 60s and 70s, and then you got 80s, 90s, crack, drugs, gangs.
And freeways,
Right, right.
freeways cutting through communities.
Man,
It's all over.
yeah,
So, as we move into the next season, we're going to continue to have some of these conversations. We're also going to expand those conversations even more. So, I think some of the things that we've been talking about, some of the evergreen topics we've been talking about, like housing,
mhm,
local politics, school board, organizations, boost to the roots, nonprofit organizations. It's all about kind of teaming up with as many people as we can to find some solutions according to those things, so we can kind of thrive in some other directions. I personally would like to go see more economic development happen. I want to see more business happen. Shout out to Shardell Barnes and those guys over there at Stable Gray. They're kind of venturing off into stuff like investing. They went to Invest Fest this year. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, we can, we stuck in survival mode all the time, that we don't spend any time on the thriving mode, on the things that can really kind of help as well. And I like to see that. I like to see more businesses, more, not just frivolous businesses, but necessary businesses. More infrastructure on that end. I would love to speak to Carmen Tapio and really pick her brain about how she was able to build industry in North Omaha,
mhm,
what that kind of means for people in jobs and so on and so forth. There's a lot to talk about, as far as it's almost like I would like to move into solutions here in a big way, and be part of those things, be part of the movement of solutions on some of these areas.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
an answer in there. There's an answer in there somewhere on that part. There's an answer in there somewhere on that part. We always kind of go back to that. Even the senators, they brought all those millions of dollars to North Omaha for economic development, not to save nonprofit organizations or to bail people out of anything or so on, but to put towards starting new business, and to start some kind of economics, stability, and also independence. And that's
yeah.
what that money's supposed to be for.
It's possible. Where's the black doctors? Where's the black dentists?
Yeah. So yeah, man, big questions, tough questions, but like I said, we're going to get into. We have a good grasp now after doing this for 2 or 3 years about the directions on where we love to steer the conversation, where we want the conversation to be steered. A lot of the evergreen topics we can kind of slow down on because we've talked through them, and we get to the point where there's some solutions there, and it's time to switch those into some action items, while we are able to move into a bigger kind of higher thought directions on how it is to battle. Like, we talk a lot about the love supreme. We talk a lot about art warriors, art soldiers. What the things that happen, the things that you create are really the things that are going to be the best tools in the battle. You see people like Sherman Wells, boost to the roots, helping do some things, but he's also using the media to get the word
Mhm.
spread and to make some change. I think about when they went over to Sorenson and confronted that gas station. That gas station probably knew real quickly that there was going to be some eyes on this, because the brother went over there using media, putting them on blast. Those are solution based activities
Yeah,
that we have the power and the ability to use our voice to do. And we'll see what's going on with the China Palace over the break as well. Same
man.
thing.
Yeah, big shout out to brother Sherman Wells and those leading the charge on that one. Um, but on that note, I did want to get into the whole OJ situation before we get out of here
Hmm.
on today, because that's a big part of it. Speaking of solutions, speaking of boots on the roof, speaking of journalism as activism, the housing situation and the battle against Omaha's housing authority has been kind of one of the biggest examples and case studies of that, as far as us applying pressure, the community raising their voice, certain media narratives being put out there, those narratives being challenged, and again, people creating their own means and their own, avenues to create change. Shout out to Brother Hassani Lee. Shout out to the Underwood Tenants Association, for making it happen and still making it happen. And also shout out to the likes of Brother Sherman Wells and Paul Philman, who's out there and supporting that fight. And again, that fight continues. Actually, as been reported, KETV is reporting that Legal Aid of Nebraska is seeking a temporary injunction for a tenant against the Omaha Housing Authority. Legal Aid alleges that a tenant is living in quote unquote unsafe, mold ridden conditions at Underwood Towers, located near 48th and Underwood Avenue, and that she alleges is putting her health at risk. Of course, this is the same property that we've been talking about for the several years, the same property that Brother Hassani Lee fought to get his father moved out of and was successful in that, but still continues to fight Underwood Towers in courts. And, looking forward to catching up with him to see what's going on with that situation. But again, there's more of the same. Legal Aid of Nebraska said that Freeman seeks also emergency injunction relief to enjoin plaintiff from discriminating against her on the basis of disability and handicap. Apparently, this resident has cancer and is disabled from her cancer treatment and dealing with cancer. The official said that she has been requesting OHA to address the significant mold in her bathroom since spring 2024. She repeatedly requested to be transferred to another apartment due to the conditions. Freeman withheld rent and was served with a 30-day eviction notice on July 10th, according to Legal Aid of Nebraska. Supervising attorney Caitlin Sedfield said the injunction is a final resort. So again, more of the same with OHA, and again, here we are, more residents speaking out, and hopefully, the work that we've been doing as far as drawing attention to that is helping with emboldening those residents.
Yeah, man. Most definitely. As a matter of fact, I just want to put out there again, you can go to our website, firstsky.omaha.com, hit the shop button and check out some of these shirts. The OG First Sky shirt and the Public Housing Fight the Tower shirt are both some of those part of the proceeds go to that Underwoods Tennis group as well. We reached out to Hassani Lee to come on, be on the last show here because I know he has a court date coming up and haven't heard back from him. So I hope everything is cool there, but we'll try to get a hold of him over the break and talk about exactly what else is going on here. But I'll go ahead and drop in that link so that you can cop one of these shirts, man. Like I say, part of the proceeds go to this fight, and we're going to continue to do that until conditions are better for these tenants, man. Shout out to Paul Philman. We call him White Paul. Shout out to him for always kind of doing the good work. He'd be out there, man. He'd be out there spending that time doing that thing. And shout out to Sherman Wells and everybody else. So yeah, I was interested in, we always kind of chime up. We see that, we look up and we see an article about somebody who's now going to try to sue OHA. I can't help but feel like some of the attention that we've been putting on it, and not just attention, but boost to the roots. We got chat chimers that have gone to the buildings and ask questions. Right, got kicked out of the buildings. Right. Shout out to Miss Kimber Snipes. Shout out to Amy H. Dot and others that have been out here, boost to the roots, trying to make sure that they are taking care of some of these brothers and sisters that are out there. Paul Philman, Sherman Wells, not hesitating to put them on blast and to try to get some things happening. So I hope that continues. I hope that there's some progress made there. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this particular lawsuit pans out. We'll see.
Man. And again, to Sister Gwen Easter's point, she says other towers need the same attention as Underwood, and I'm glad you pointed that out, because it's also in recent news, it is also being pointed out that several other areas that are owned and managed by OHA also have similar issues. Actually, KTV7 is reporting about the KJ Tower. I believe that's in downtown, kind of close to the Midtown area. And then also the Park North Tower. Residents from these areas have told news outlets about similar issues that still remain, i.e. mold, bed bugs, leaky roofs, things like that. and one of the residents is again pleading to OHA, saying people need help. It's not unreasonable to take care of your buildings. One of the residents is also facing terminal cancer and also eviction. And he went on to say, I don't think people realize how little help there is for some people. Some people seem like they're handed everything on a plate. Some people, you have to struggle to get anything. It makes you want to give up. So again, thank you, Sister Gwen Easter. It's not just Underwood Towers, but Benson Towers, has plenty of issues. North, man, all of the towers, fine hell.
Lawrence.
Florence. I mean, we can go, run the gambit. But OHA seems to be the silver, the connecting theme on all of this situation and their lack of property management.
Yeah, I think they're one of the only towers that are in a fairly affluent neighborhood, and that's why they're getting a lot of the attention that they're getting. And also because some of the things, like Brother Hassani Lee, his father was in that particular building. So people that are
Mhm.
speaking out, that's what happens. Which tower is getting the most attention has to do with a lot of those factors as well. So we all got people, friends, and family. I got family in Florence towers. Like we all got people in all these towers. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to speak up and become part of this fight. And it's a tough one to ask tenants to do because they're already having a hard time, which is the reason why they're in the towers in the first place. And so it's tough to say, for them to do something that might make them get kicked out, which is the reason why, people like Paul Philman and Sherman Wells keeping their eye and boosted the roots on that situation, is making sure that everybody's on blast so that you can't just do that. And Hassani Lee, being in them courtrooms battling this stuff all the time as well. Like you can't like I remember him coming on talking about they try to evict him over 3 day, give him a 3 day notice. Now you got to have 30, like make them follow their own
Mhm.
rules on some stuff. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So yeah, so we'll definitely continue to that. I like Tony Johnson saying shout out to all the community leaders who block you or put you on a meeting blacklist because you publicly put them on blast. We don't care nothing about their lists. They can put us on all the blacklists they want to. We still going to speak to our people. And that's why it's so important for us to really be out here making sure that we make that connection. So I just want to make sure that you guys continue. Lots of big things are happening. It's just you look at it as a newsletter. It's a newsletter, but it's also our way of communicating with each other. So please definitely sign up for this if you haven't already. We're trying to beat this algorithm of these social media companies and also beat these lists that they might put you on to say they don't want you to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They want to put you on a blacklist. It's okay. We got our own blacklist. We are the blacklist. So that's what it is. So definitely check this out. We'll continue to have some conversation around that, especially through the newsletter. And I definitely appreciate all you guys getting down on that. Steve-O Slim says, salute to the righteous people putting in that work. He says, there's nothing we can't master.
There you go, man. There you go.
There you go. Also, I'm seeing Ariel's 402 says, I hope this attention to the OHA brings consequences and not just another case for them to just receive money. Yeah. That kind of what happened the last time. We kind of went down just like that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely need to be held accountable. I was kind of looking at, how this one of these articles wrapped up, and it said that after the injunction was put in by legal aid, that OHA did move one of the residents, from one tower to another. But she says the tower that she was moved into, she's pretty sure was also full of mold. So, and just having these injunctions, just having to move people from place to place, obviously isn't enough. Like Chad Chalmers was saying, real consequence is going to have to happen at some point, and it's looking like maybe OHA is just going to. I don't even know if just losing management and ownership of the properties is enough. You're talking about people's real health being in jeopardy because of these conditions. When does it become criminal?
People have died already,
man.
So it's not just the health; it's the
life or death
mortality, right?
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys jumping on this. Like I said, I want to get a few more minutes in on what's going to be happening kind of next season. Don't want to just leave it off on this bad news that we've been talking about. Vaughn Chapman, I will get into your statement here. He haven't heard you in particular chime up for a little minute, so I appreciate you coming through. He says, "Good morning." Back in the day, visitors bureaus were all the nightclubs located throughout both North Omaha and South Omaha. Primary businesses like the packing industry, Western Electric, are all gone, and secondary businesses that help support the economy in North Omaha. It is very important to understand that there is no political solution to the economic problem in Black Omaha. Just because OEDC owns a large portion of properties in North Omaha, it does them charging high rents to those who can't afford to pay attention. It would be more impactful if OEDC would offer to sell and finance those from the Black community. If that does not happen, OEDC is no different than those white philanthropists who make their money on the backs of those who can't afford it. So, yeah, you can see there's a lot of people that have some of these kinds of attitudes here. Appreciate your comment there. He says, Von Chapman says, OHA, true to form, will sell those towers to make room for unaffordable housing.
Man,
I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but that would be interesting.
I mean, we've kind of seen that. We just talked about it with the Chambers Tower situation. Is that what's going to happen there, or we don't know?
Very good question. Very good question. 9:30 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're gonna not hold you too long. We want to make sure that you are able to understand that this is our last show of the season.
Yeah, man.
Season 1B. 44 episodes. I was just looking at the number the other day. 44.
Really?
Episodes. Yeah. So we've been on some of these things for a while. And we appreciate everybody's comments and everybody's contributions to the conversation as well. And we really appreciate that. We want to make sure that you stick with us. We got another season coming up January 15th. We want you to go to YouTube, like and subscribe, and hit the bell over there, because we're going to be dropping stuff all through the break that you don't want to miss as well. And the best place to get that is going to be to see it in the newsletter that's still going to drop every Friday, the weekly wrap every Friday. But also hit that bell for when we have impromptu live streams and those types of things that are going to be happening throughout the break as well. And come back next season, because 2025, I heard Brother Qasim say it, man, 2025 going to be on fire.
Man, I can feel it.
We got a lot of stuff coming, man. More news dissemination is happening with the news desk that we're building out. The more content creator camps that we're going to be running in 2025 as well, to kind of help build out this army of citizen journalists that we've been talking about. We're going to switch up on how we're going to do things when it comes to the political campaigning and things like that over the course of the next year. It will be Ballot in the Bullet season 2B.
Yeah.
Will be happening as far as that's concerned, and we're gonna hopefully get a new mayor in if possible that year.
We shall see.
We shall see. And also a lot more of material that we're going to be putting out as well, and also teaming up with a lot of different folks as well. We definitely have some citizen journalists and some actual journalists and stuff that we're going to be working with 2025 to disseminate more information. We're going to need your feedback. So we're going to put more surveys out on the weekly wrap, so we can get your feedback on some things. And you can always hit us up at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com, and definitely hit us up there on some of your ideas, some of the things that you want to do to help. Some of the organization is going to happen there through that. The website, go to firstsky.omaha.com. There's going to be a lot of news that's going to be put on the website as well. A lot more information there as well. Don't call me, because as I don't always have time to call people back, but when I do, I don't. Hit us up on firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Also hit us up on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. We're still going to do stuff there. Yeah, and man, by all means, like and subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube so that you can get all of those impromptu shows that we got coming up as well.
Yeah. Also keep an eye on firstskyOmaha.com, going down there as well.
Yep. Just explain. So we're definitely on that tip and going to expand and do some more expanding on that. We appreciate everybody's feedback and the way that everybody has supported us all this time as well. We have monthly reoccurring supporters, $10 people, $25 people, $50 people. We really appreciate you guys that do that. Yeah, man. We are trying to build that up as well, because we definitely want to make sure that we're supporting the community. If we bring value to the community, we want the community to support us as well. So if you haven't done that and you're so inclined, go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the sign up, join button, and become a recurring member of the channel as well, and help us to get to the point where we're hiring on some new journalists, and we're expanding the news in the way that we're trying to do in a big way. There's partnerships coming up. I'm gonna tease a couple little things that we got going. We've been talking to some folks in the music industry out here in Nebraska and also in Atlanta a little bit. We're going to be reporting on a few more things there. There's going to be a lot more Love Supreme reporting going on in 2025 as well. We're definitely moving into the direction where We're not just talking about the things that will help us survive, but also will thrive. Business, music, a lot of the things that we have access to that we can provide some information from. We're really going to try to do some more of that. We're also teaming up with Kimmer again, and making sure that we stay on top of school board situations. Ashley Spivey reached out to us about coming on to the shows on Monday, so the new dynamic duo is going to be happening on Mondays again.
Can't wait.
Yeah, Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Ashley Spivey, put some respect on their names. Going to be coming through. We're going to speak to some other senators next year as well too. There's some other folks that we're going to be bringing in, and on that tip, and also we're teaming up with some folks in town about even on some people coming in town to do shows and things like that. You never know who we're going to be speaking to when it comes to that in the entertainment side of things as well. Edutainment is a huge part of what we're trying to do, and we like to bring awareness. Just think Killer Mike. Just think Killer Mike. He's using his power and influence on the entertainment world to speak up politically the way he does as well, because he also, like us, sees, even though he's an artist, he also sees the need to speak on some of these problems that is happening. I guarantee you we're going to be talking about some serious changes in 2025 with the Trump administration coming in, already trying to change up a lot of stuff, a lot of things. But I'm not worried. We always pivot. We find a way. They be looking to black folks like, how y'all navigate that? Because
make it happen.
Yeah. Ask your black friend how we navigate the problems. Anyway, that's kind of the stuff that's on top of my mind for next season. Buddy, what's on top of your mind for next season? How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. A lot of the partnerships, excited about that. Definitely looking forward to this benevolent illusion. Really, really is a lot of feelings, a lot of conversation kind of surrounding the fact that Omaha, is such a philanthropic town. And looking forward to, really having that conversation and hearing your thoughts on all that and everyone out there. So excited about that. Excited about changes to First Sky Omaha in the morning, just trucking along. And I feel like, people are getting what it is that we're doing, supporting what it is that we're doing here on First Sky Omaha in the morning, and looking forward to continuing, these conversations, understanding what's going on, and just being the change that we like to see, and coming together. I really, really enjoy this endeavor. And hopefully, it continues to do some good, as some people have expressed it has already done for them. So excited about continuing that and just seeing First Sky Omaha grow, man. Like the momentum is there, and we might not always see the things that we like to see as far as social media numbers and metrics here and there, but the impact is definitely felt, and we have a lot of you out there to thank for that. So we appreciate you, we love you, we thank you, and looking forward to another year moving along.
That's what's up, man. We'll go ahead and get out of here, man. Ariel's 402 says, bravo, bravo, bravo to First Sky for providing safe space for intelligence. I like
Thank
that.
you, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate that most definitely. Stay tuned. Like I said, we'll have a lot of announcements about some of the things we're going to be doing here in the next season and over the break. So just stay tuned, stay plugged in, man. The conversation continues. It doesn't stop just because holidays come up or you take a vacation or any of those things. These are ongoing daily things that we really kind of got to pay attention to and do something about in our world. And we're at least getting affected by them. If we don't want to do nothing, that's one thing, but they don't go away if we ignore them by any means. So we're going to continue to do that. So yeah, just appreciate everybody that's doing that. I'm seeing everybody coming in on in. I'm going to let you guys get out of here on that tip. We're not staying a full 3 hours, but well past the 2 hour agreement that we talked about earlier. So we really appreciate you guys hanging out and with us on that tip too. Go back and check out the show if you missed any parts of it. You can go back to YouTube and Facebook and look at the show there, and check out the comments on both YouTube and Facebook as well. Some changes coming on next season, man. It might be where we got to kind of figure out what we're doing as far as the social media outlet is concerned. Might be that we got to just kind of go full force YouTube. We have problems with Facebook from time to time, but we need to kind of step up game on that part. So stay tuned for that. Also stay tuned for the Chat Charmers Club that's coming up as well. Since everything has been, we've had some situations that's happened over the course of this last season where people felt a little bit attacked, and we're going to have to address that. We definitely want to be able to have conversation where everybody feels safe enough to come and say some things. So we had chat chimers at the beginning of the season that were heavy chat chiming, and then felt like they got a little bit attacked in the chat and stopped and held back, stopped chat chiming as much. It turned into a situation where there was only a few people in the chat coming back all the time. And that's not what we're after. We're after everybody being able to speak up. So one of the ways that we're going to do that is by really kind of face to face getting with the chat chimers. This is the chat chimers club. We speak on this stuff all the time. When people look at us and they want to hear about what it is that we got to say, they're also taking in consideration what the chat says, because a lot of people can come on shows and not even pay attention to the chat, but they pay attention to the chat here. I can hardly stop people from looking at the chat when they come on the show, because they know that you guys are our co-hosts. You guys are part of this whole situation. So we actually got to kind of tighten up a little bit on the chat. And we're going to do that, make it easy for people to chime in and for us to have a really good discussions with each other, or even if we disagree, that's cool. But disagreeing and attacking is another thing. We're going to keep on refining the style of how we do this show here. But we got a lot more material coming besides this show. That hopefully will help get some of this information out, dissemination out, and then also hear from you and your voices as well. I mean, that's really, really
More
important.
importantly. Yeah, more importantly.
Marlon Harrison says, great season. Appreciate you. Marianne Williams says, happy holidays, First Sky. Thanks for all you do. See you next year. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Really do. She says, I hope you think about once a month doing a 3-hour show. Now Gwen Easter on the 3-hour show. I'm glad this ain't a democracy, because y'all might vote for us to do a 3-hour show around here.
They hold on to us. Hold on to us, Paul. We love it though. We appreciate it. Definitely. Thank you.
Vicky Young in the chat singing the theme in the morning. I can hear her singing it now. That's what's up. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody that came on to the show, man. Gwen Easter says, good show. Thank you.
Man, hanging out with us, extra, on the extra time, man. So we definitely appreciate that. Before we get out of here, I did want to give some flowers and just trying to, spread some cheer a little bit and give a shout out to Channel 3 actually for the story holiday shopping and volunteer opportunities in North Omaha, giving the North African American bookstore some love, man. So big shout out to big shout out to Channel 3 for stopping through and giving them some love. Miss Annette Taylor is a co-owner, of course. Rest in peace to Mr. Taylor, Brother Taylor. Starting and keeping the bookstore going. So, just make sure during this holiday break, the point is we're getting out. There's opportunities to volunteer. There's opportunities to give back. There's opportunities to support, as we're talking about. You see how hard it is for businesses to stay open, how hard it is for businesses to thrive in North Omaha. So, as you do your holiday shopping, do your gift shopping, just keep a local business in mind. Go buy some books. Go buy some trinkets. Check out the Afro-American bookstore. Check out the Gathering Place. Check out, these businesses, man. Support, and volunteer also. There's opportunities out there. See if the BAA needs something for their Kwanzaa celebration. See what One Omaha has going on. Just see No More Empty Pots, what they have going on. Get out there, get active.
One of my favorite things to do this season has been passing by the Afro-American bookstore. Miss Annette sits outside on the porch sometime, and she gets tired of people driving by waving, even though everybody does. But she loves it when you stop in and sit and talk to her for a minute. So I felt like the old days. It felt like Brother Taylor again, like stopping at the Afro-American store and having a beefy conversation.
Yeah.
And having it with Miss Annette sitting outside, watching people pass by, the community pass by. I personally love seeing the community pass by waving at her like that, because they're giving her flowers. And but she be sitting out there, and not now. It's getting a little cold now. But last summer, it was nice to be able to stop by and talk to her a few times. Man, Afro-American bookstore is the jewel of Omaha as far as we're concerned. That sucker got to stay open for real,
big time. So support, y'all.
Vicky Young says the best is yet to come. Thank you for being a credible source of information for the community. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate all of you guys on this. Happy holidays. See you next year. Thank you, Heather Williams. Do us a favor, tell a friend. Like I say, you can go back and watch the whole season again on Facebook and YouTube. Check it out on anything that you missed. We'll be putting some highlights out over the break as well. Some of the highlights on some of the best interviews that we've had over the season and all that. So we'll be able to check it out. Like I said, like and subscribe, hit that bell on YouTube, and definitely sign up for the weekly wrap. We're not done. We're just going on a little break. We take a little break, not just for ourselves, not just because people are wrapped up in the holidays, but also because we need to get ready for next season.
Yeah, man.
That's starting January 15th. So stay tuned for that. Meantime, between time, man, we really appreciate everybody. Oh, Anthony Rogers Rice says Dr. West still talks about the African American bookstore. I highlighted his visit to Omaha. Even Dr. Cornell West knows about.
Yeah, come on, man. Let him know. Let him know.
Yeah, that's what's up. Let us know how you doing, man. Stay in touch. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. And yes, we will work on some kind of a wintertime Chad Chimers kickback over the break so we can all kind of live alive with one another. So
yeah, man, I would love to see that. I probably won't be able to make it, in that time. But if y'all come together, man, do so in spirit of me. Keep me in mind.
Yeah, and we planning on even a bigger jam session kickback in the summer for next summer.
Oh yeah.
Starting to plan now on that.
Gonna be Native Omaha days. Yeah, we got to do it, man.
We're gonna have to do it. All right, that's it. We're gonna get out of here. We really appreciate everybody sticking with us. Yeah,
I'm gonna be gone, y'all. See you next year. Happy holidays. Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red